Chapter 1144. Insect control is, after all, a minor path. It can only serve as a means. If you become too engrossed and it delays your cultivation, then you have put the cart before the horse, and the loss outweighs the gain. Remember, cultivation level and spiritual practice are the foundation. Lu Chongqing continued to speak to his son Lu Qinsha. The other possessed a 5th-grade spiritual root, and his talent was considered quite good. Although he encountered some setbacks at the early stages of cultivating the beast technique, and wasted some time, with the current benefits provided by the Lu family, plus the cultivation resources given privately by his mother, he should have earnestly cultivated and already achieved a breakthrough to the 7th-level energy refinement by now. Thank you for your concern, father. Your son understands. Lu Qinsha felt a pang in his heart, aware that he was indeed lagging behind in terms of the progress of his cultivation level. As long as you're aware of it yourself, that's enough. Lu Chongqing patted his son on the shoulder and said no more. His hints were not just because of the delay in cultivation, but also because the current value of his son's spiritual insect rearing was mediocre, with limited returns in the later stages. If Lu Qinsha were a loose cultivator, it would naturally be okay to devote more time and energy to this aspect. But as a disciple of the Lu family, there is no need to engage in too much strife during the qi refinement realm, and spending too much time and energy on this would indeed be somewhat wasteful. Moreover, the Purple Shadow Secret Realm will open in just over 6 years, and given Qinsha's situation, you should consider exploring it then. At this moment, Lu Chongqing thought of the Purple Shadow Secret Realm that opened every 30 years. He felt that it would be a good opportunity for his son to enter and temper himself. After handing the ancient beast taming charm to Lu Qinsha, Lu Chongqing couldn't help thinking of its former owner, his son's mother, Su Ruyan. Although this woman had obtained the heavenly demon phoenix from him and condensed the heavenly beast Tao foundation, without the guidance and help of a personal mentor, her growth in recent years had been steady but ordinary. Her growth rate was extraordinary, but not astonishing. If I hadn't taken the ancient beast taming charm from her, perhaps her development now would be even better? Lu Chongqing stroked his chin, mulling it over. There has always been talk of fate and fortune in the cultivation world. Among those theories is the idea that if someone destined for great fortune experiences too many setbacks and defeats, it may lead to the loss of their destined fortune from the universe. Su Ruyan, in Lu Chongqing's view, was definitively one with great fortune and should have progressed boldly and rapidly. But in recent years, her development has been relatively ordinary. Fate and fortune. Lu Chongqing chuckled lightly, not paying it much mind. He returned to Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven, began to stabilize his condition, and prepared to address Ling Zixio's Dragon Roar physique problem. At Bai Yun Peak, in Mingyue Residence. This profound origin bead has actually improved so much. In the cultivation chamber, Lu Wangshu, after successfully refining the profound origin bead, revealed a face of delight and surprise, bright and flawless. She knew the profound origin bead her father gave her was no trivial item, but she had never imagined it would be so amazingly effective. Not only was her mana spiritual pressure significantly increased, but this profound origin bead also acted like a second dantian, storing nearly 10 times her mana. With this, it's as if I have endless mana, and I can freely perform the drawing talisman in the void technique. Lu Wangshu was thrilled. Her clear and bright eyes revealed a sly glint. Shortly after, she sought out her brother, Lu Lingxiao. Lu Wangshu, what are you here for? Lu Lingxiao's features were not as elegantly handsome as Lu Chongqing's. His face was rugged with well-defined angles and dignified. His unusual golden eyes, concealed by a magic artifact from Lu Chongqing, were still exceptionally bright, eye-catching like a torch. He did not show much pleasure at the sight of his sister. Lu Lingxiao, are you itching for a fight again? Lu Wangshu gave her brother a sidelong glance and spoke. Sir the Novel Fire, any *T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. You've always wanted to challenge me. Now that your sister has condensed a supreme Tao foundation, I'll let you witness it. So that you don't neglect your cultivation in your rush to achieve foundation establishment. Dressed in a pale pink and white gown, Lu Wangshu stood with her hands behind her back, speaking to her brother. Supreme Tao Foundation? Lu Lingxiao's eyes narrowed slightly. He might not like this sister, but there was no question about her talent and comprehension. She was not only proficient in the talisman path but also knowledgeable in alchemy, puppets, and music mastery. Although her cultivation level was slow, he knew it was because their father wanted her to lay a solid foundation. Do you want to see for yourself? Lu Wangshu asked with a slight tilt of her exquisitely shaped chin. Yes. Lu Lingxiao nodded. Although he understood through his mentor's explanations that there were bedrock shatter, with flaw, without flaw, and perfect foundation bases, hearing that his sister had condensed a supreme Dao foundation made him want to witness it for himself. Lu Lingxiao never considered himself inferior to anyone, especially not the sister in front of him. Lu Wangshu crossed her arms, glanced sideways and said, "Is that your attitude?" Lu Lingxiao's mouth twitched and he bowed politely. "Please enlighten me, sister. Your tone and attitude are not right, try again." Lu Wangshu demanded. Lu Wangshu, don't take a mile when given an inch. The Dao Foundation consists of 4 levels. Bedrock shatter, with flaw, without flaw, and perfect. At most, you've only condensed a perfect foundation base. When it's time for me to assault foundation establishment, it will surely be a perfect foundation base as well, and it's not yet determined who will win or lose. Lu Lingxiao stood tall, with an impressive aura, speaking proudly. He was already at the 9th level of energy refinement, his progress step by step, just to condense a perfect foundation base. Moreover, due to his physique, his mana foundation and techniques were far superior to ordinary people, so he was confident that after establishing his foundation, he would not be weaker than his sister. Of course, if she cheated by relying on talismans, that didn't count. Since you are aware of the different levels of the Dao Foundation, you must know what to expect from a perfect foundation base, right? Lu Wangshu did not mind her brother's attitude and spoke with a smile. Of course I know. Lu Lingxiao nodded. Since that's the case, your sister will let you truly witness it today. Lu Wangshu said with a smile. When the corners of her mouth lifted slightly, revealing pearly white teeth, it made her delicate face playful and lovely. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1145. Immediately, the two of them arrived at the back mountain of Baiyun Peak. This place has a black-brown stone slab training ground for Lu family disciples in the energy refinement late stage to cultivate techniques, or for sparring. Sister Wangshu, Lingxiao. Several Lu family disciples spotted them on the back mountain and shouted out. CTH Nell Fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Currently, many Lu family disciples are on outside expeditions or handling family affairs. Among those still training at home, Lu Wangshu is considered older. Furthermore, given Lu Wangshu's exceptional talent and the affection showered upon her by Lu Chongxing, Lu Miaoge, Lu Miaoyun, and Chu Zhenjin at Bai Lake Mountain, most Lu family disciples still hold quite some respect for this older sister. Qing Yan, Xingchen. Lu Wangshu greeted them with a smile, her expression bright and generous, like a spring breeze. Lu Lingxiao merely nodded slightly. The two approached a stone wall, where Lu Wangshu's beautiful eyes looked clear and deep. She said smilingly, "Lingxiao, watch closely." After speaking, she lightly lifted her jade hand, and magic flowed through her pale, slender fingers, gleaming with a lustrous glow. Then, like a dragon and phoenix in awe, her movement fluttered through the void, and soon, a talisman shimmering with golden light took shape. Buzz! Just as the talisman formed, it exuded an incredible and overwhelming magic aura. Drawing talisman in the void. Seeing this technique, Lu Lingxiao's eyes slightly narrowed. However, he knew that his sister cultivated the talisman path, a very rare talisman cultivator, and was not shocked by such a technique, simply continuing to watch Lu Wangshu. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Magic power surged around Lu Wangshu, causing her pink-white dress to flutter and dance without wind. The finished talisman instantly split into 3, 3 into 9, 9 into 36. All these talismans emanated an extraordinary magic aura, circulating around Lu Wangshu, making her appear pure and holy, full of grace. This. Lu Lingxiao was instantly startled. His vivid eyes gleamed with a golden luster, staring at the talisman before him. He had cultivated the pupil skill, and could tell that his sister was not using an illusion technique to deceive him. She had truly conjured 36 second-rank talismans in a breath. Even with a perfect foundation base, with mana more robust than ordinary people, How could she deploy so many talismans in just a moment? That's the equivalent of a common foundation establishment cultivator casting 36 techniques continuously. Not to mention whether the meridians and dantian could withstand it. Mustn't her mana be nearly depleted? But his sister seemed as if nothing had happened. Seeing her brother stunned, Lu Wangshu's mouth curled slightly upward as she continued to gesture incantation. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Boom, boom, boom. The golden talismans struck towards the stone wall ahead, each one causing an incredibly terrifying force. If it weren't for the wall being constructed from special materials and engraved with array patterns, it might have collapsed directly. Yet under such an offensive, the back mountain still shook. However, it hadn't ended yet. Lu Wangshu continued to gesture incantations with both hands, the void buzzing and trembling, generating more talismans, and soon there were over 100. Ling Xiao, look closely, this is the power of the Supreme Dao Foundation. Lu Wangshu's robes fluttered, her hair flying, surrounded by intricate talismans, her figure shimmering, hazy, like a beautiful warrior goddess. Phoenix Fire Scourge. She gestured with both hands, aligning these talismans neatly before merging them into one, forming a slender and elegant phoenix bird, with noble and gorgeous rosy clouds. The phoenix bird crouched behind Lu Wangshu, engulfed in blazing flames, endowing her with an indescribable sense of divine nobility, beyond earthly beauty. Ling Xiao, what do you think? Lu Wangshu looked at her younger brother, her voice crisp and pleasant. She sighed inwardly in disappointment that she hadn't yet manufactured talisman soldiers. Otherwise, if she deployed a few talisman soldiers at this time, the power and effect could rise to another level. Supreme Dao Foundation, so this is the Supreme Dao Foundation. Lu Lingxiao was astounded upon seeing this scene. Even though he was very confident, believing that after his foundation establishment, he would surely surpass Lu Wangshu. But seeing Lu Wangshu's astonishing techniques, he felt somewhat powerless. So astonishing. Just moments and hundreds of talismans. Is that what it seems like for a cultivator who just broke through to the foundation establishment stage? Even in the foundation establishment mid-stage, or the late stage, isn't it just this? Not just him, the recent commotion pulled to the back mountain fellow cultivators Lu Qingyan, Lu Xingchen, and Lu Yunfei. Everyone stared at the current Lu Wangshu, dumbfounded, startled, and bewildered. Isn't this elder sister at the Qi refinement realm? When did she break through to foundation establishment? And to be so formidable just after breaking through? Everyone was quite bewildered. Sister Wangshu, did you break through to foundation establishment? So impressive. Lu Qingyan exclaimed in amazement towards Lu Wangshu in front of her. Cultivate well, and you all can also reach foundation establishment soon. Lu Wangshu slightly lifted her palm, the crouched phoenix bird behind her dissipated, and she said with a bright smile. Such maneuvers consumed a lot of her mana. If not for the profound origin bead, she couldn't have performed it. However, seeing Lu Lingxiao's reaction, she didn't continue pretending. Otherwise, it would really be too demoralizing for this younger brother. Although there was a bit of showing off and playing around in her mind, she was also using this way to motivate him. This younger brother had exceptional talent and a strong character, always thinking about challenging his elder sister. If that's the case, she would present him with a challenge. Indeed, Sister Wangshu. The trio was indeed shocked by Lu Wangshu's recent maneuvers. Lu Lingxiao, you weren't too disheartened, were you? At this moment, Lu Wangshu came up to Lu Lingxiao and patted his shoulder, speaking out. Humph, Lu Wangshu, don't think I don't know, you must have relied on some external item to achieve this. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1146. Lu Lingxiao snorted coldly. Although he was young, he was not foolish. He naturally guessed that the methods his sister had just used were problematic, certainly not relying on any Supreme Dao Foundation. Moreover, this sister's character, suddenly seeking him out and showboating like this, was certainly questionable. Still, despite saying such, a sensation of pressing pressure surged in his heart. He knew that even if he condensed a perfect foundation base, it would be difficult to surpass her. Sigh, is it really that hard to admit that sister is stronger? Just behave a little better and sister might give you some tips. Sar the Novelier. NET website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Wangshu did not care about Lu Lingxiu's attitude. If he easily submitted, she would find it uninteresting. Humph, at the same realm, I will definitely not be weaker than you, Lu Lingxiao declared, preparing to seek his master's advice. Goose goose goose. Seeing him like this, Lu Wangshu burst into unreserved laughter. Then she said to the other younger siblings, Yan Yan, Xingchen, Yun Fei, don't spread the word about what just happened. If their father found out she came to bully Lu Lingxiao again, he would surely scold her. Sister Wangshu, rest assured. The three nodded in response. White Tiger Mountain. In a valley. Boom boom boom. A tall, sturdy young man, his body gleaming with a precious light, was barehandedly fighting a fierce beast that was gigantic, with a wolf-like head and a scarlet vertical scar on its brow. The strikes from both the man and the beast were extremely fierce, clashing continuously with a clanging resonance, stirring up wind and thunder, echoing throughout the valley. If anyone witnessed this scene, they would be incredibly astonished. After all, demon beasts naturally possessed powerful physical bodies. Ordinary cultivators would never engage them in close combat, let alone barehanded. Especially as the young man fought the demon beast, stirring up dust and wind thunder, not falling short, exchanging blows that shattered numerous giant stones in the valley. Big Pot, Qing Song has something for you. At that moment, a 16 or 17-year-old girl, cute-looking with buns in her hair and riding wind-fire wheels appeared. She cupped her hands to her mouth, shouting to the young man who was fighting the fierce beast. Hearing this noise, Lu Pingon and the 9 Netherhounds stopped and responded to his sister, Lu Lingyi. Okay, coming. Moments later, after changing into a black robe, Lu Pingon joined his not-yet shoulder-high sister and asked, Xiaohe, what does Qing Song need? I have no clue. Lu Lingyi shook her little head, then said to Lu Pingon, You'll know once you go, Big Pot. I'm going to find Xiaohe to play. Saying that, she rode the wind-fire wheels to the massive 9 Netherhound, clenched her fists and crisply shouted, Come on, Xiaohe. The 9 Netherhound, looking at the girl before him with pupils glowing dark red, revealed a hint of helplessness. It thought that having reached this stage, it would no longer need to babysit. But then Lu Lingyi came to White Tiger Mountain, often saw it practicing with Lu Pingon, and wanted to emulate them by sparring with it. Facing Lu Pingon, it could strike at will. And the two had been training together since childhood, forming a great understanding. But facing Lu Lingyi, if it applied a bit too much force with its claws, it would turn the girl into a mush. This process was infinitely more difficult than sparring with Lu Pingon. Mountain-shaking fist. The girl shouted excitedly, throwing a punch at the 9 Netherhound. Although she knew only one punch, that punch was already full of momentum. As her fist shot forth, massive energy surged, carrying an unstoppable, indestructible force. Thud! The 9 Netherhound raised its paw, very reluctantly, but put on a fierce appearance to accompany Lu Lingyi in her practice. Company caravan. In the hall, Lu Pingon listened to his younger siblings discuss the caravan matter, nodding in response. Okay, arrange these matters properly, set a time, and inform me. He had no particular thoughts or opinions about the caravan matter. This business trip might require several years. He needed to return home in advance to visit his mother and talk to Su Jiuer. We just wanted to inform you in advance, brother. It will take some time to organize and form the company. If you have any opinions or needs, brother, we can arrange and prepare conveniently. Lu Qingsong spoke up. Organizing the caravan not only required planning the trade route and preparing manpower but also advanced preparation of goods, purchasing beasts of burden, and storage boxes. The space in a normal storage bag was limited, and due to volume and weight constraints, using it for trading was very troublesome. The storage box, compared to the storage bag, not only had a capacity dozens of times larger but could also be outfitted with numerous prohibitions. Even if the storage box was robbed, breaking the prohibitions on it to steal the goods would be difficult, and their family could use the box's identifying mark to retrieve the merchandise. I have no particular opinions or needs. Just arrange as you see fit. Lu Pingon said with a smile. Although he oversaw White Tiger Mountain, he had never interfered with family affairs for many years and had no interest in them. Okay. Lu Qingsong nodded, understanding his elder brother's temperament. Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven. Chongqing Hall. Hu. Lu Chongqing opened his eyes and breathed out a long breath of turbid energy, finally recovering from the loss incurred by condensing the Getai Dao seed. However, seeing his dwindling supply of high-quality spirit stones, he sighed lightly. Continuing to cultivate like this, he would deplete all the high-quality spirit stones he had accumulated over the years. He rose and walked out of his cave mansion, glanced at Ling Zixio's cave mansion, and since she was not in Chongqing Hall, he headed to the Lu family mansion. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1147. Husband, Master, Father, Daddy. When Lu Chongqing had just arrived at the Lu family mansion, he was greeted by these affectionate calls. It must be said, the feeling was very pleasant. Each time he returned home, tired from cultivation, it was a moment of relaxation and comfort. Daddy, Daddy, I've reached the 3rd level of Qi refinement. At this moment, a cute little girl with an exquisite appearance, akin to a porcelain doll, saw Lu Chongqing and affectionately called out. So fast, little chair. You're truly marvelous. Lu Chongqing looked at his daughter with a face full of praise and said with a smile. Although this daughter had a 4th-grade spiritual root, due to her mother, Lu Miaohuan's reason, not only was her body strong, but her meridians and dantian were also extraordinary. Thus, during the medicinal baths, the effects were excellent, and now at the age of 11, she had already reached the 3rd level of Qi refinement. This made Lu Chongqing feel emotional. In his own days, he didn't have such conditions. Thinking back on his own past, when there was no path for cultivation, he could only marry into the Lu family of Qingzhou Mountain, and it had taken almost a year just to channel qi into his body. His hardships and pains could truly make the listeners sad and the hearers cry. Hee, my younger brother has also reached the 3rd level of qi refinement, Lu Qingqi said giggling, chattering non-stop as she shared amusing stories with Lu Chongqing. Her son, Lu Qingxian, also came forward to greet Lu Chongqing. Dressed in brocade robes and jade boots, his slightly naive face perfectly inherited the features from Lu Chongqing and Lu Miaoge, handsome and tender, showing the hints of his illustrious future. Unlike his lively and boisterous sister, his personality was quiet and gentle. His bright eyes looked at his father and sister in front of him, and he would only speak up when Lu Chongqing asked him something or when he was interested in something. Dad, I heard Brother Xingyang say that our family is setting up a trade association? At this moment, Lu Qingxian voiced his inquiry. Correct. What's the matter? SAR the Novel Fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Chongqing did not expect his son to be concerned about this, he said with a smile. I heard from Grandpa before, our family has always been feared by many other family forces. Once our family business expands beyond by Lake Mountain, it's easy to be targeted. Now that we are establishing a trade association, if Mom and Dad have to stay at home, only Brother Pingon and Brother Qingxian will manage it. But I heard from outsiders that our family is now considered a false core family, and when the time comes, other false core families might act against our trade association. Can just Brother Pingon and Brother Qingxian be enough to handle it? Lu Qingxian, with his clear eyebrows and high nose, red lips, and white teeth, asked. Hearing his son's words, Lu Chongqing raised his eyebrows slightly, his tone gentle. In disputes between forces, negotiation is the main approach when it escalates. They won't make things utterly hostile. These family forces will at most probe and suppress us, making our business unsustainable and forcing us to retreat. However, these families would only deploy cultivators up to the late stage of foundation establishment. Currently, your eldest brother's strength is fully capable of handling and resolving these issues. Lu Chongqing explained to his son. Regarding the true foundation of the family, only people like Lu Miaoge, Ling Zixiao, and Lu Miaoyun were aware. Thus, Lu Qingxian was not fully informed of the true strength of the family and Lu Pingan's real combat power. Wow, big brother is that powerful? Lu Qingqi, with her tiny face filled with surprise and mouth slightly agape, heard this. Although they were young, they had been taught the basics of cultivation since their enlightenment at 6 in the Lu Family Academy. They understood what the concept of a foundation establishment late stage meant. Yes, your big brother has an exceptional talent in body refinement and is also very diligent in his daily cultivation. Lu Chongqing gently rubbed his daughter's elegantly styled little head, laughing as he spoke. If big brother goes to sit in the trade association, what about White Tiger Mountain? Lu Qingxian asked curiously. In his understanding, a foundation establishment cultivator must sit in the family spirit land to handle unexpected situations. Your sister Rui recently broke through to foundation establishment and can sit in White Tiger Mountain. However, your brother Yun and brother Xingchen are also preparing for foundation establishment. If they break through, they could also go to White Tiger Mountain. Lu Chongxing faces his son's confusion and speaks directly. That makes sense. Lu Qingxian nodded thoughtfully. He thought to himself that it was indeed as he suspected. There might be other foundation establishment cultivators at home. If you're interested in this area, you can ask your brother Yun and brother Xingyang more often. Lu Chongxing said with a smile. Although children with good talents generally don't take the position of family head, if his son has an interest, he would be happy. And this son indeed had some talent and aptitude in management. Okay. Lu Qingxian nodded in response. Dad, Grandpa's health is getting worse. I plan to go stay in Qingzhou Mountain for a while to accompany Grandpa more. My brother and sister have also told us to visit Grandpa more often. Lu Qingxian continued lightly, with his lips slightly pursed. These years, Lu Miaoge often brought him to Qingzhou Mountain to visit Grandpa Lu Yuanding. And Lu Yuanding also loved him very much as a grandson, and they were very close. Many issues among family forces had been explained to him by Grandpa Lu Yuanding. Okay, when the time comes, Dad will take you there. Lu Chongxing sighed internally, knowing that his father-in-law was likely to pass away in the next few years. Daddy, I will also go to visit Grandpa then. Lu Qingqi, hearing this, also seemed a bit downcast. They all knew that people die, and their grandfather didn't have much time left. After chatting with his wives and children for a moment, Lu Chongxing visited his son Lu Lingxiao's residence. Seeing his son talking with his wife Ling Zixiao. Zixiao shower. What are you talking about? Lu Chongxing approached with a cheerful smile. Xiao was asking me about how to cast hundreds of second-ranked talismans after just breaking through foundation establishment. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1148. Ling Zixiao, dignified and elegant, looked at Lu Chongxing and spoke irritably. Although her son didn't specifically name Lu Wangshu, she didn't need to think twice to realize what was going on. After all, she was well aware of the constant squabbles between her children and Lu Wangshu. She didn't necessarily see sibling fights as an issue. But just watching her son constantly bullied by Lu Wangshu, stubbornly gritting his teeth without ever seeking help from his father Lu Chongxing, seeking some treasures, stubbornly wanting to compete with Lu Wangshu, made her feel frustrated. That girl is clever and strange, daily earning Lu Changsheng's affection, with unknown numbers of treasures in her hand. Her own son is no match. Also looking at her son's stubbornness, she thought of her daughter, Lu Lingyi. Compared to her son's resoluteness, her daughter Lu Lingyi was completely naive, deceived by Lu Wangshu and even helping count the money. Furthermore, her daughter was tricked repeatedly without learning her lesson, still affectionately addressing Lu Wangshu as elder sister, following her around like a shadow, which infuriates her for not being able to meet her expectations. Inexplicably she, wise all her life, couldn't understand how she ended up having such a pair of children, inheriting none of the cleverness. Cough cough. Lu Chongxing, hearing what Ling Zixiao said, immediately understood the situation. He gently coughed and said, Wangshu, that girl is too unreasonable, I'll discipline her later. Humph. Ling Zixiao, hearing this, rolled her eyes, not believing that her husband would truly be willing to discipline their cherished daughter. My husband Xiaoer has some cultivation issues he wants to consult Senior Red Lotus about, but Miaoyun mentioned that the ancient talisman is in Chen Sha's hands, yet it seems Senior Red Lotus isn't within the talisman. Ling Zixiao did not dwell on the matter of their children. Instead she voiced out her query. Oh, I forgot to tell you about this. After hearing this, Lu Chongxing slapped his forehead and said. He explained that Red Lotus was inside a dead tree stump in the Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven Medicine Garden. Sun's cultivation doubts can be addressed by heading to Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven, calling out to Red Lotus by the Peachwood Spirit Womb. Ah, why is Senior Red Lotus in that dead tree stump? Ling Zixiao voiced in surprise. She had noticed an additional tree stump in the medicine garden before, but had not paid it much mind. This dead tree stump is named Peachwood Spirit Womb. It is a spiritual embryo of heaven and earth, and Red Lotus plans to use this spiritual embryo as a body. Lu Chongqing didn't conceal this from his wife and spoke directly. Spiritual embryo of heaven and earth? Ling Zixiao suddenly revealed a surprised expression. Lu Lingxiao was somewhat puzzled, not knowing what a spiritual embryo of heaven and earth was. But from the conversation, he roughly understood that his master is in the process of restructuring a body. Well, probably in a few years, Red Lotus will be able to reconstruct the physical body. Lu Chongqing said gently. Red Lotus identity, he kept hidden from other wives and children. But there was nothing to hide from Ling Zixiao and their son Lu Lingxiao. This really is a congratulations to Senior Red Lotus. Ia the Oval Fire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Ling Zixiao, dignified and elegant, smiled gracefully. Once this Senior Red Lotus reconstitutes a body, his cultivation might not return to its peak, but it certainly won't be weak. Having such a master for her son is also tantamount to having an additional support. However, once Senior Red Lotus reconstitutes his physical body, it seems inevitable he won't escape from her husband's control. In this way, the master-disciple relationship between her son and this Senior Red Lotus doesn't seem to hold much advantage. Shower. Have you encountered any issues in your cultivation? Lu Chongqing looked at his son Lu Lingxiao, asking aloud. As a nascent soul immortal, with so many cultivation techniques inherited in his mind, he is capable of guiding his son in cultivation. No, just wanted to consult my master about the Tao Foundation. Lu Lingxiao gently shook his head. Listening to his son's words, Lu Chongqing immediately understood that this was caused by Lu Wangshu's behavior making him somewhat question life. He promptly said, "Don't listen to Wangshu's nonsense about the Supreme Tao Foundation, there is no such thing. A perfect foundation base is already flawless. Only a great opportunity can cause the foundation to transform." The reason she could achieve this was entirely relying on a treasure, with mana comparable to a foundation establishment mid-stage. Lu Chongqing spoke out, very experienced in these matters. But his son's character was indeed straightforward. In his youth, when Lu Wangshu mentioned that one must stay awake during a medicinal bath for the best effects, he stubbornly stayed awake throughout the bath without sleeping. Did Sister Wangshu's foundation undergo any transformation above the perfect foundation base? Upon hearing this, Lu Lingxiao immediately asked. Still a bit off. Lu Chongqing shook his head and said. Causing the Tao Foundation to transform is extremely difficult. Even in his own youth, it was only due to a coincidental chance with the effects of great sun essence, Tai-yin moonlight, and spirit-nurturing energy that such a transformation occurred. Looking at his son's eyes burning with fierce determination, Lu Chongqing thoughtfully said, "You don't need to rush the foundation establishment. Solidify your foundation well, and later your father will prepare something for you." Now, among his children at home when it comes to talent, this son in front of him is the foremost. But besides allowing Red Lotus to carefully instruct him, he hasn't given much assistance to his son. Mainly because there's no suitable treasure for him. He wanted to obtain a heavenly spiritual fire, but has only gathered information about a few second-rank heavenly spiritual fires over the years, none of which suited Lu Lingxiao. Therefore, for this trip to the Myriad Beasts mountain range, Lu Chongqing plans to hunt several demon kings. Then, using the demon king's essence blood to concoct a medicinal bath to baptize his son, solidifying his foundation. Thank you, father. Upon hearing this, Lu Lingxiao immediately bowed. Beside him, Ling Zixiao hearing this, her graceful face also revealed a hint of a smile. It is known that even within the immortal sects, a perfect foundation base is considered a true inheritor, equivalent to a nascent soul seed level existence. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1149. Even many true inheritors of immortal sects only possess a flawless Tao foundation. Yet my own son has set the perfect foundation base as his goal. And he has a high probability of condensing a perfect foundation base. Hee. You should listen to your sister Wangshu less. After your foundation establishment, Daddy will prepare some treasures for you. They definitely won't be inferior to hers. Lu Chongqing patted his son's shoulder, thinking to himself that when the time comes, he should prepare some treasures for his son. Otherwise, his son could be bullied by his daughter, Lu Wangshu, to death. After the conversation with his son, Lu Lingxiao, Lu Chongqing told Ling Zixiao that they could now start to deal with the dragon roar physique. My efforts are for you, my lord. Upon hearing this, Ling Zixiao responded with a light smile. The two then proceeded to Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven. Lu Chongqing called over Lu Miaoge, who was currently cultivating. It wasn't to have Miaoge contribute to the mood. Rather, in the event of any unforeseen circumstances during the process that might trigger a reaction from the dragon roar physique, Miaoge could help suppress it using the water of virtue technique. Or use the Tai True water to immediately heal and nourish Ling Zixiao's physical body. Changxing Hall. The cave mansion was simple and elegant, filled with a faint and refined fragrance. Zi Xiao, Sister Miaoge. Lu Chongqing looked at his wife with a grave expression, signaling he was about to begin. Okay. Lu Miaoge was dressed in a plain white robe, sitting elegantly beside the bed. My lord. Hearing this, Ling Zixiao took the initiative to wrap her arms around Lu Changsheng's neck and kissed him. Ia the Novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Moments later, the two undressed and began to operate the Sun-Moon Samsara technique. This cultivation technique was very useful. Whether for dual cultivation, breaking through, or entering a state of meditation, it had great effects. Zi Xiao. Lu Chongqing looked at Ling Zixiao, whose beauty was radiant and alluring with flushed cheeks and soft, supple skin, and reminded her aloud. This indicated he was starting, operating the yin-yang creation scripture. Within the Qi ocean core, the golden core seemed like a purple sun, bursting forth with golden rays of light. A black and white yin-yang fish swam, roaring ferociously. Under the surging golden core true essence, it transcended and leaped into a dragon. The true dragon plunged into the secluded abyss, seeking its target for this journey. Roar! In the abyss, there was a blazing and domineering dragon ball. Seeing the true dragon approach, it roared fiercely, exuding a terrifying and shocking presence. Roar! However, facing the dragon ball, the true dragon showed no fear and swallowed it directly. Boom! The black and white dragon's body seemed to catch a rolling flame, beginning to burn. Facing this situation, the true dragon coiled, forming a yin-yang Taoist chart, suppressing and refining the dragon ball. Ling Zixiao's full and straight legs tensed up, her toes wrapped in white socks also clenched tightly, rubbing against Lu Changsheng's back, her blushing face showing a pained groan. She felt excruciating agony, as the dragon roar origin was one with her, and this reversal of yin and yang was extremely painful for her. Seeing this, Lu Miaoge immediately went forward to alleviate Ling Zixiao's pain, using Tai True water to nourish her body. Lu Chongqing continuously operated the yin-yang creation scripture, pouring his own golden core true essence into Ling Zixiao's body ceaselessly, to produce a hint of yin in the dragon roar origin. As long as a hint of yin was born from the yang, there would be a yin-yang balance, no longer affected by the dragon roar physique. However, it has to be mentioned that the dragon roar physique truly lived up to its reputation as a top-tier physique. Even though Ling Zixiao was only at the foundation establishment cultivation, wanting to completely suppress her dragon roar origin and reverse yin and yang was exceedingly difficult for him. If Shi Yu were here, it might have helped somewhat. At that moment, Lu Chongqing thought of Xiao Xia. Her moonlight physique was a yin spiritual body. If they used Xiao Xia's Tai Yin moonlight essence as a guide, maybe the process would be much easier. But now this is sufficient. Lu Chongqing, supporting Ling Zixiao's voluptuous waist, said to Lu Miaoge, Sister Miaoge, stabilize Zi Xiao's condition. After speaking, he turned his golden core origin into the utmost yin and gentle force, surging with all his power. Boom! In an instant, yin-yang source within Ling Zixiao turned into a profound darkness, the circulating yin-yang Taoist chart resembling a deep black hole, constantly revolving, suppressing, and refining the dragon ball inside. Roar, roar, roar! The dragon roar origin roared furiously, as if it wanted to tear through the Taoist chart and break free. But faced with the potent and astonishing yin-yang source, it was powerless. Thus, the two forces of yin and yang began their struggle and opposition. Throughout this merging process, Ling Zixiao raised her exquisite neck, her body trembling, her voice whimpering, tugging at one's heartstrings. Sister Ling. Lu Miaoge continued to nourish Ling Zixiao's body, suppressing the dragon roar of yang energy spreading from her meridians and dantian. This process was extremely dangerous. Had it not been for Lu Maiage's presence, Lu Chongqing would have had to divide his attention to stabilize Ling Zixio's body using nirvana art and life transference technique. Time passed by little. No one knew how long it had been. Ling Zixio's face turned pale as she nearly lost consciousness. But eventually, her Bodis dragon roar origin let out a mournful sound, under the profound black Taoist chart, showing a bit of golden luster. Slowly it merged with the dark Taoist chart, forming an intermingled pattern of black and white. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1150. On the bed, Ling Zixio's eyes fluttered deliriously, her lips bright red and breath heavy, her delicate body limp and covered in glistening sweat beads, lying atop Lu Chongqing. Lu Changsheng's palm gently caressed the soft, delicate snow-like skin of the beauty. Beside them, Lu Miaoge held Ling Zixio's pale wrist, nourishing her meridians and dantians silently with the water of virtue technique. Moments later, Lu Chongqing softly asked Ling Zixiao, "Zixiao, how do you feel now?" "Emma." Ling Zixiao hummed softly, quietly sensing the condition of her body. After a short while, her clear water-like beautiful eyes revealed a touch of surprise and delight. "My lord, I feel that the effects of the dragon roar physique have dissipated, forming a new benign effect. But the specific effects need to be gradually understood through cultivation." Ling Zixiao looked at Lu Chongqing, her face filled with excitement and joy. This dragon roar physique had troubled her for too long. Even though Lu Chongqing had been suppressing it before, her cultivation was still intermittent, not daring to be too aggressive. Fearing that during cultivation, the dragon roar physique might cause some problems again. At this moment, the dragon roar physique had finally been thoroughly resolved. She felt like she was breaking free from shackles and cages, overwhelmed by indescribable joy and excitement. She was naturally talented, possessing a third-grade spirit root. Lu Chongqing resolving her dragon roar physique did not abolish it. Sar the Novel Fire, NE*T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Instead, using the dragon roar physique as a foundation, he reversed yin and yang to form a new spiritual body effect. Although this spiritual body effect was not as astonishing as the original dragon roar physique, it at least had a beneficial effect on her cultivation, no longer a negative one. In such a situation, Ling Zixiao felt confident about her future prospects of reaching core formation. "Congratulations, Sister Ling." Lu Miaoge looked at Ling Zixio's somewhat pale and weak face, sincerely congratulating her. Having been together for so many years, she knew well how severely the other was affected by the dragon roar physique. If not for the dragon roar physique, with her talent, she would have reached the late stage of foundation establishment long ago. Moreover, Ling Zixiao had exceptional talent in the formation path, and if she had wished to join any faction, she was fully capable of reaching core formation solely through her efforts. "Zixiao, if you feel any discomfort during cultivation, you must tell me immediately." Lu Chongqing spoke gently to Ling Zixiao. Resolving the dragon roar physique this way was just his hypothesis, which he believed feasible. But it could not completely guarantee that there would be no issues. If there were problems, he would use the dragon invocation technique to directly tackle and resolve the dragon roar physique. Ling Zixiao nodded in response. "Zixiao, you still seem a bit weak. Let your husband continue to treat you." "Sister Miaoge, you've also worked hard." Instantly, the atmosphere within the cave mansion became lively with the essence of spring. 3 days later, Lu Chongqing and Lu Miaoge, along with their son, Lu Qingxian, and daughter Lu Qingqi, came to Qingzhou Mountain to visit Lu Yuanding. "Chongqing Miaoge, you are here. Grandfather, grandmother." Lu Yuanzhong along with the new family head came to greet Lu Chongqing and his wife. He had suffered severe injuries in his early years, and now appeared somewhat aged with white hair, like a man in his 50s. "Uncle, grandfather." Lu Chongqing and others nodded to Lu Yuanzhong. As for the new family head, they didn't pay much attention. Decades had passed, and there were fewer and fewer people familiar to Lu Chongqing in Qingzhou Mountain. The group arrived at a small courtyard in Qingzhou Valley. Lu Yuanding's face was weathered, his hair white. Seeing Lu Chongqing, Lu Miaoge, and their 2 grandchildren coming, his dull eyes immediately brightened up with divine light, rising from the recliner with a somewhat hunched back and exclaimed, "Chongqing, Miaoge, Xianer, Chair, you're here." Grandfather, grandfather. The two young children sensibly rushed forward to support their grandfather. Father-in-law. Lu Chongqing called out, vaguely remembering the latter's appearance at the foot of Qingyun's Sex Mountain in the past. Unknowingly, the other had gone from a gentle and elegant middle-aged man to such a weathered old man. Father. Lu Miaoge went forward to support her own father, nourishing his body with Tai True water. Lu Yuanding had suffered many injuries in his early years. The fact he could live up to now was entirely due to lifespan extension pills and care by Lu Miaoge. After a while, Lu Yuanding cheerfully talked with his two grandchildren. During the conversation, he also showed concern for Lu Chongqing, Lu Miaoge, and asked about Lu Miaohuan, as well as Lu Qingshan and Lu Qingzhu, who were far away in Yu country. However, after half an hour, Lu Yuanding became tired and needed to rest. Sigh. After staying a day in Qingzhu Mountain, Lu Chongqing then went to White Tiger Mountain, prepared to bring his daughter Lu Lingyi home. Once Ling Zixio's dragon roar physique was confirmed to be resolved without issues, he would take care of his daughter's dragon roar physique. After all, for a female cultivator, the dragon roar physique was always like a time bomb. Even though Lu Ling's dragon roar physique was a deficient physique, and Lu Chongqing could easily suppress it, it was still better to be cautious and resolve it early. For this reason, Lu Chongqing had always left his daughter's cultivation largely to its own over the years. However, upon arriving at White Tiger Mountain, he learned that his son Lu Pingon had gone to Rui Prefecture, and his daughter Lu Lingyi had gone with him. Regarding this, he simply asked Lu Qingsong to pass a message to Lu Pingon, telling him to bring Lu Lingyi back to Bai Lake Mountain after returning. Rui County City. Lu family. Although the Lu family was a newly risen clan in Rui Prefecture, thanks to the fame of the family patriarch, Lu Chongqing, it had now become the most prominent family power in the entire Rui Prefecture. At this moment, in front of the Lu family mansion, numerous Lu family disciples knelt down, being whipped. Pit-a-pat, pit-a-pat, pit-a-pat. The sound of whips swinging rose, accompanied by shrieks. Lu Pingon, tall and majestic, with a face as stern as ice, watched this scene unfold. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1151. On his trip home, he inadvertently heard about instances of bullying and oppression within the family and immediately went to investigate. With the backing of the Rui Marquis mansion, it didn't take long for him to find out what was happening and to become aware of the growing negative influence within the family. This made him extremely angry. The family had only been established for a few decades, but such situations had already arisen. The Lu family allows mediocrity and incompetence, but it absolutely does not allow anyone to rely on the family's power to commit wrongdoing outside. Many families fell into decline precisely because of a lack of discipline, with the descendants becoming arrogant and overbearing. It's true that behind Rui County's Lu family there is the support of the Blue Lake Mountain Lu family. But if these perverse and evil tendencies aren't curbed in time, the entire family could be affected in the future, potentially even impacting Blue Lake Mountain. Big brother, I dare not do it again. I will never dare again. A young man's robe was torn from the whip's lashes, his back a bloody mess, as he screamed in pain. Not just him, there were others calling out to their uncle or grandfather. Even some had fainted from the pain. Yet the whipping continued unabated, with no mercy, causing the air to crackle with the sound, the flesh mangled. After all, the young man who seemed to be the one doing the whipping was not only an immortal, but also the eldest son of the Lu family. On such a large scale and with such severity, who would dare to ask for leniency? Big brother. Lu Wuyu looked at this scene, his gaze shifting shamefully towards Lu Pingon. Although he had relinquished the position of family head, as the first family head he still held considerable power and authority within the family. The current situation was partly his responsibility as well. In the future, the Lu family inspector will report to the Marquis mansion yearly about Lu residence matters. Our father is too busy to manage these, so as the eldest son, it is my responsibility to oversee these affairs. Lu Pingon looked at his gray-haired younger brother and sighed slightly. He understood that his younger brother Lu Wuyu was getting older. The new family head, when dealing with some of the elders, especially those who came from Blue Lake Mountain, might find it challenging to be too strict. And it was precisely due to this that some unfavorable tendencies had begun to appear within the family. Uncle Hong, if Rui Marquis Mansion encounters such incidents again, Please send someone to Blue Lake Mountain to notify me. Lu Pingon looked to the side at Hong Yi, who was dressed in fine robes with gray hair. Although he disliked dealing with family affairs, he absolutely didn't want to watch his own family turn into what he loathed most when he was younger. Therefore, in addition to the family's own supervision, he also requested the monitoring by Rui Marquis Mansion. Don't worry, Your Excellency. I will surely have my family pay close attention to this matter. Hong Yi looked at the young man standing tall and firm before him with a restrained and reverent tone. He was well aware that this eldest son of the Lu family was a famed Foundation Establishment cultivator, who had once repelled a veteran Foundation Establishment mid-stage cultivator. But seeing the current form of Lu Pingon, he somewhat remembered how righteous the other party was in his youth. Decades later, there had been no change. Uncle Hong, please feel free to visit Blue Lake Mountain when you're free. Father often mentions you. Lu Pingon said aloud. Certainly, certainly. Hong Yi nodded in response. Naturally, he did not believe that Lu Chongqing talked much about him. But the fact that such a distinguished foundation-building great cultivator showed him such courtesy was still surprising. After everyone had received their lashings, Lu Pingon spoke gravely. After these people wake up, confine them all within the family, grounded for 10 years. If anyone dares to offend again, the consequences will be more than just confinement. In an instant, all the Lu family disciples fell silent, completely respectful in their response. After carrying out the family discipline, Lu Pingon also announced a few measures within the family. In addition to punishments and rewards, he made some adjustments to certain family matters. Although he was not interested in family affairs, it didn't mean he was ignorant. When he was young, his mother Lu Lanshu always intended to train him for the position of Lu residence family head. So by being immersed in it from a young age, he understood many principles. Moreover, he wasn't autocratic, adjusting things based on the situations brought forward by his brother Lu Wuyu, as well as Hong Yi and others from within the family. After handling all matters, he left Rui County City with his sister Lu Lingyi. With such a son overseeing and disciplining the family traditions will be upright. Hong Yi watched Lu Pingon depart, reflecting inwardly. Even though under his stewardship, Rui Marquis Mansion had developed rapidly thanks to the relationships with Blue Lake Mountain and expanded into an energy-refining family. The more it was so, the more worried he was, treading on thin ice. He knew that once he passed away, if his children did not manage well, the family could plummet. Sar the Defier. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. As a Foundation Establishment cultivator, Lu Pingon, who was now in his 50s or 60s, was in his prime. With him overseeing, at least for the next 100 years, the Lu family would not face such issues. If only Xuanji had a middle-grade spiritual root. At this moment, Hong Yi thought of his son Hong Xuanji, sighing. He had sent his son to Blue Lake Mountain early on, and he had married Lu Changsheng's daughter Lu Caizhen. Now his son held a steward position in the Lu family, responsible for marketplace business, and there was a hope that before the age of 60, he might reach the peak of qi refining and attempt foundation establishment. But his son was only of 7th grade spiritual root. Attempting foundation establishment was utterly impossible. Even if he could ask Lu Chongqing for a meridian-protecting elixir and foundation establishment spiritual objects with decades of savings, his son could still not succeed in foundation establishment. Alas! Thinking this, Hong Yi felt a surge of envy towards Lu Chongqing. Not only was he highly reputable, but his wife Lu Miaoge was also renowned, comparable to a false core immortal. Among his children, there were also the two great foundation establishment cultivators, Lu Pingon and Lu Qingxian. 60 years ago, who could have imagined that a country boy would come so far? However, with this relationship, at least for 100 years after my death, the Hong family will be without worry. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1152. Hong Yi took a deep breath, convinced that befriending Lu Chongqing was the best decision he had made in his life. With this relationship with Lu Chongqing, at least the Hong family would not encounter any major problems for 100 years after his death. As for what happened after 100 years, that was no longer his concern. Congratulations to the host for the birth of 1,000 progeny. You have earned one advanced level lottery opportunity. That day, a system notification rang in the mind of Lu Chongqing. Just 1,000? Lu Chongqing was somewhat surprised and emotional upon seeing that he had over 1,000 grandchildren. Out of these 1,000 grandchildren, apart from a few from earlier years and those with spiritual roots, he had not met 90% of them, which truly embarrassed him. However, thinking that among these 1,000 grandchildren, only a little more than 40 possessed spiritual roots, Lu Chongqing sighed again. It must be known that these 40 or so were due to the children of by Lake Mountain gradually starting families and having children, which increased the probability. If it were just the secular offspring, the probability would be simply dismal. Through this, one could well perceive how difficult it is for mortals to give birth to offspring with spiritual roots. Advanced level lottery. Lu Chongqing took a deep breath, silently murmuring in his heart, looking forward to what he might receive in this draw. Ordinary lotteries had little chance of surprising him anymore. But an advanced level lottery, as long as he didn't draw some trash cultivation technique, would be of great help to him. Immediately, the advanced level wheel appeared. Glimmering with golden light, it stopped on the Heavenly and Earthly Treasures reward segment under Lu Chongqing's gaze. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining Shen-Tian's Spiritual Vine. The reward has been issued to the system space. The host can inspect it at any time. Instantly, a verdant and lush vine emerged from the lottery wheel, coupled with a system notification sound. Shen-Tian's Spiritual Vine? A heaven and earth spiritual plant? Lu Chongqing's heart skipped a beat upon seeing the form of the reward, guessing it was a kind of heaven and earth spiritual plant. However, this spiritual plant appeared in the advanced level lottery and had the word Shen-Tian attached to it, which sounded quite extraordinary. Lu Chongqing's mental spirits stirred, gazing into the system space. Shen-Tian Spiritual Vine. Grade. 5th rank. Description. The Shen-Tian Immortal Vine is a companion spiritual vine that can inconspicuously gather nature's spiritual energy, grow for 10,000 years, and condense into Shen-Tian spirit fruit. Gathering nature's spiritual energy. Lu Chongqing was astonished by the effects of the Shen-Tian spiritual vine. The notion of spiritual energy was elusive and hard to grasp. This Shen-Tian spiritual vine could actually inconspicuously gather nature's spiritual energy, which was astounding. But isn't this fruit too difficult to grow? It takes 10,000 years just to bear fruit? Lu Chongqing frowned slightly upon seeing it took 10,000 years for it to bear Shen-Tian spirit fruit. Even with the myriad spirits bottle, it would take him a century or two to make this Shen-Tian spiritual vine bear fruit. Though 100 or 2 years might be short for a 5th-rank spiritual vine, for Lu Chongqing, it sounded like an eternity. Wait, this Shen-Tian spiritual vine is a 5th-rank spirit plant. Does it mean I have to plant it on a 4th-order spirit vein? If that's the case, wouldn't it be a mere trifle? Lu Chongqing murmured to himself, feeling somewhat uncomfortable as he gazed at the Shen-Tian spiritual vine in front of him. Currently, even a 3rd-order spirit vein was not available at home, let alone thinking about a 4th-order spirit vein. Unless he turned the myriad beasts mountain range upside down, nurturing a 4th-order spirit vein was simply impossible. However, as he was entangled in his thoughts, some information emerged from the Shen-Tian spiritual vine before his eyes. Sarch * the novel. F. Iyer. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Lu Chongqing instantly realized that this Shen-Tian spiritual vine was different from ordinary spiritual plants. It did not require spiritual energy at all. Once rooted in the earth's veins, it could form a spirit vein. If planted on top of a spirit vein, it could connect with the earth's veins, accelerate the growth of the spirit vein, and inconspicuously gather nature's spiritual energy, shielding the heavenly secrets. What a treasure indeed! Lu Chongqing's eyes lit up with the information, feeling overjoyed. Unexpectedly, this Shen-Tian spiritual vine not only didn't need a spirit vein but could also accelerate the growth of one. Even without the effect of condensing Shen-Tian spirit fruit in 10,000 years, in his view, just accelerating the spirit vein's growth and gathering nature's spiritual energy inconspicuously, made this Shen-Tian spiritual vine a top-tier spiritual object. The advanced level lottery, indeed, never disappoints me. Lu Chongqing exclaimed with a pleased face. He promptly extracted the Shen-Tian spiritual vine from the system space, eager to plant it. In an instant, a vine as green as jade appeared before Lu Chongqing. Had it not been for the system's introduction, he would have never guessed the vine before him to be a 5th-rank heaven and earth spiritual plant. It seemed quite simple and unadorned. However, after extracting the Xiantian spiritual vine, Lu Chongxing gained a more detailed understanding of it. Once the Xiantian spiritual vine took root, the accumulated nature's spiritual energy did not enhance a single person. Rather, it belonged to the spirit vein land in which it was planted, blessing all the cultivators there, contributing to the collective destiny. Nevertheless, carrying the Xiantian spiritual vine with him also had the effect of obfuscating heavenly secrets and subtly improving destiny. As for the Xiantian spirit fruit, it wasn't just an ordinary fruit but a treasure that would form according to the spirit vein's conditions and the environment in which it grew. Once the fruit solidified, the Xiantian spiritual vine would wither and dissipate. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1153. After the fruit is condensed, will the vine wither and dissipate? Lu Chongxing looked at the Xiantian spiritual vine in front of him, a frown forming on his brow. He was just curious about the fruit that the Xiantian spiritual vine had condensed. But upon learning that the spiritual vine would wither away after condensing the spirit fruit, his interest waned considerably. Perhaps the Xiantian spirit fruit was even rarer. But for the time being, in his view, the effects of the Xiantian spiritual vine were more practical. Mount Sumeru. Lu Chongxing arrived at the summit of Blue Cloud Peak and asked Mount Sumeru to dig a tunnel at the peak to connect with the spirit vein area. Boom boom boom. A commotion arose on the summit of Blue Cloud Peak. Half a moment later, a tunnel was formed. Lu Chongxing passed through the tunnel and arrived at his family's spirit vein area, seeing the spiritual vein origin of Blue Cloud Peak. Go! Lu Chongxing placed the jade-like Xiantian spiritual vine atop the spirit vein. The vine glowed green as it spread and grew, rooting itself and climbing over the spirit vein, lush and exuding a pure and rich vitality. Apart from the intense vitality and its rampant growth, there was no significant difference from before. However, upon closer inspection, Lu Chongxing still noticed something extraordinary. The dense patterns on the vine seemed to be slowly flowing, intricate and profound, interwoven with truth and reason. Lu Chongxing calmly gazed at the Xiantian spiritual vine before him, as if he could see a mysterious pattern in it. All things in full display, bursting with life, flowers blooming like a splendid tapestry, green leaves about to drip. Eventually, withering and decaying, returning to the earth's origin, cycling endlessly, the ebb and flow of years. After a long while, it is said that many techniques and abilities are realized by cultivators observing the fundamental nature of the world. Seems there is truth to that. Lu Chongxing sighed deeply, murmuring to himself. Realizing the patterns on the Xiantian spiritual vine were far from simple, evolving some intricate and profound rules and order. If he could grasp the principles and truths from it, perhaps he could comprehend a set of top-tier techniques and divine skills. And even without deciphering any techniques and abilities, he would still gain immensely from it. However, Lu Chongxing knew his own level of comprehension. It was also difficult for him to settle down and spend decades or even centuries to contemplate the rules and principles of the spiritual vine. Such pure spiritual energy. At this moment, Lu Chongxing noticed that within the thriving vitality of the Xiantian spiritual vine, a pure and rich spiritual energy was emanating. This spiritual energy was very pure and concentrated, having reached the third order of nature's spiritual energy, continuously nourishing his family's spirit vein. Through the origin spirit pupillary art, Lu Chongxing immediately saw that under the nourishment of the Xiantian spiritual vine's aura, his family's spirit vein was in a state of rapid growth. He estimated that in 50 to 60 years, it could autonomously ascend to the second-tier top-level spirit vein. For an ordinary family, for a spirit vein to be able to ascend from second-order superior to second-tier top-level in 50 to 60 years would be extremely fast. But to Lu Chongxing, could this growth that takes 50 to 60 years to reach second-tier top-level really be considered growth? It seems that for my spirit vein to advance, I still have to rely on myself. Otherwise, to depend on the Xiantian spiritual vine to upgrade the spirit vein to third rank would be an unknown number of years in the future. However, the higher the grade of the Biyun Peak spiritual vein, the better the effect of the Xiantian spiritual vine, so I should really cultivate the spirit vein of Bai Lake Mountain properly. Lu Chongxing saw that the effects of the Xiantian spiritual vine were closely related to the spirit veins it rooted in. He planned to upgrade the Biyun Peak spiritual vein to quasi-third order after his excursion to the Myriad Beasts mountain range. In this way, not only would the family's spiritual energy greatly improve, but the effects of the Shentian spiritual vine would also be enhanced. It's too bad I can't see the fortune situation. Lu Changsheng's eyes shimmered with purple luster as he continuously examined the Shentian spiritual vine, but was unable to discern the effects of gathering the world's fortune. He only knew that after the spiritual vine rooted, it would gather the fortune of heaven and earth, thus blessing everyone on Blue Cloud Peak. Even this effect would radiate from Blue Cloud Peak to the entire Lake Mountain, and even the surrounding area of Lake Mountain. Regardless, the Lu family disciples who lived long-term on Blue Cloud Peak would certainly benefit the most. After planting the Shentian spiritual vine, Lu Chongqing stepped out of the tunnel and instructed Mount Sumeru to take care of the spiritual vine on a daily basis. Report to him immediately if there was any unexpected disturbance. If he was not around, then notify Lu Miaoge, Lu Miaoyun, and Ling Zixiao. Yes, master. Mount Sumeru responded, its voice ethereal and pure, gentle and faint, sounding very pleasant. I wonder if Hong Lian knows about the Shentian spiritual vine? Lu Chongqing pondered secretly, heading to Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven, beside the Peachwood Spirit Womb, and called out to Hong Lian, Hong Lian. What is it you need, young master? Although Hong Lian was in a semi-sleeping state. But upon hearing Lu Changsheng's voice, she responded immediately. Have you ever heard of the Shentian immortal vine? Lu Chongqing asked aloud. He learned through the system's introduction that his Shentian spiritual vine was a companion vine of the Shentian immortal vine, so he wanted to know more about this aspect. The Shentian immortal vine? Hong Lian was shocked. She couldn't help but wonder if Lu Chongqing possessed a Shentian immortal vine. After all, the young master often inquired about certain things from her. Search * the novel. F. Iyer. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. These things seemed unrelated. But soon enough, she would see related items from Lu Chongqing. Young master, I have never heard about the Shentian immortal vine either. But I have seen a saying, anything titled with a Shentian belongs to the level of an exceptionally rare treasure. Hong Lian's voice was ethereal and clear, saying so. Then do you have any understanding of such Shentian treasures? Lu Chongqing raised an eyebrow, continuing to inquire. Regarding this, I also have no understanding, merely having heard a bit here and there, not sure if it's true. It is rumored that such treasures crowned with the name Shentian are manifestations of the world's rules, containing part of the origin source, and possess the effect of suppressing one's fortune. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1154. There are also rumors that such Shentian treasures are existences far beyond heavenly spirit treasures, and that only great vehicle true immortals can control them. Regardless, such Shentian treasures are already beyond the grasp of those at the nascent soul transcendent level, let alone above the state of transformation into divinity, returning to the void, merging with the Tao. They are greatly attractive to great vehicle true immortals. Hong Lian spoke slowly. At the height of her power, she was indeed a nascent soul true lord. But she also only knew of the existence of the deity of transformation. As for those beyond the state of transformation into divinity, returning to the void, merging with the Tao, or reaching the great vehicle, she had never heard of them. These Shentian treasures were also known through some ancient books and handbooks passed down from ancient times. Her understanding of them was partial and she could not be certain of their authenticity. Far beyond heavenly spirit treasures, only the great vehicle true immortals can control. Upon hearing this, Lu Changsheng's brows slightly furrowed, feeling that his Shentian spiritual vine might not be so rare and powerful. After all, the Shentian spiritual vine is only 5th rank, and no matter how powerful, its potential should be limited. There may also be different levels among Shentian treasures. For example, the Shentian immortal vine is much rarer and more powerful. And the Shentian spiritual vine is just an accompanying vine to the Shentian immortal vine, belonging to the lowest level? Lu Chongqing guessed in his heart. He continued to ask, Hong Lian, do you know of any ways to observe Qi luck? Qi luck. After pondering for a moment, Hong Lian replied, Young master, personal Qi luck is elusive and hard to capture or observe. If it is about the fortune of a sect's power, those proficient in divination, extrapolation, and feng shui can discern the general state of Qi luck. After finishing, Hong Lian added with some uncertainty, Perhaps there are some supreme treasures or pupil skill divine abilities that can observe Qi luck, but I am not very clear about this aspect. Divination, extrapolation, feng shui. Lu Chongqing nodded, knowing that within the 100 arts of cultivation, there are professions such as diviner, life fate manipulator, feng shui master, etc., which subtly involve Qi luck and fortune. However, these professions are exceedingly rare. Artifact refiners, alchemists, formation masters, and talisman masters can be met with ease wherever one goes. But he had never seen practitioners of the aforementioned professions. What use is the Qi luck of a sex power? Lu Chongqing continued to inquire. Sar the novel_fire. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Regarding personal Qi luck, he was aware of effects like turning disaster into blessings and finding treasures upon stepping out of the door. But he didn't quite understand the collective Qi luck of a sect. It couldn't possibly mean that treasures would fall from the sky, right? The matter of Qi luck is extremely mysterious, with no clear definition. If a sect's Qi luck is abundant, then relatively speaking, it is easy for this sect to produce genius disciples. For example, some geniuses subconsciously choose to join such a sect, or an elder of the sect encounters a genius disciple and so on. Under the care of a sect's Qi luck, its disciples may find it easier to break through realms, comprehend cultivation techniques, and reduce the incidence of heart demons and deviations during their cultivation. Or perhaps disciples who are already fortunate might intuitively make the right choices when encountering events outside, influenced by subtle intuition. Overall, the Qi luck of a sect's power is not very noticeable on an individual, but on the whole, it quietly influences a positive development. Hong Lian's voice sounded ethereal and pleasant as she spoke slowly. I see. Lu Chongqing nodded slightly, roughly understanding that collective Qi luck acts as a sort of overall enhancement buff. On an individual, it might have a minimal effect with no marked impact, adding just a touch of splendor. But when applied collectively, it brings many intangible and substantial benefits. Speaking of which, if the Qi luck is good, does that mean if children are born on by Lake Mountain, would they be more likely to have spiritual roots, and with better spiritual root talent? Lu Chongqing mused in his heart. The matter of giving birth is inherently greatly influenced by luck. If it is backed by the added bonus of Qi luck, perhaps the quality of offspring in the family could rise a notch. Alas, it's a pity I can't see the effects of Qi luck. Lu Chongqing sighed, hoping that one day he would acquire the skills of a diviner or feng shui master. In this way, he would be able to observe the Qi luck of his family, and determine their fortune and misfortune. All right, you rest well. Without asking further, Lu Chongqing went to accompany his wives and children at the Lu family mansion. A month later, Ling Zixiao told Lu Chongqing that there were no abnormalities in her cultivation process. This new spiritual body, in addition to providing a certain boost to the speed of cultivation, also has a nurturing effect on the physical body. Whether there are other effects, she herself is not clear. However, she speculated that this spiritual body should be considered a weakened version of the dragon roar physique, and may slightly aid in breaking through realms. It's good that there are no issues. Lu Chongqing held his wife's hand and responded with a gentle voice. After checking Ling Zixiao's physical condition a few times, he went to find his daughter Lu Lingyi to resolve her dragon roar physique. Some time ago, Lu Pingon had already sent his daughter back and spoke to him about the matters of Rui Prefecture. Regarding the situation in Rui Prefecture, Lu Chongqing didn't comment much, only sighed, indicating that Lu Pingon had worked hard. The two of them came to Bai Shui Lake, and immediately saw Lu Wangshu fishing with Lu Lingyi. To be precise, it was Lu Wangshu fishing, while Lu Lingyi was using a spear to catch fish. Seeing her own daughter with her pants rolled up, standing on wind-fire wheels, holding a fish spear, and constantly spearing fish, the normally gracefully poised Ling Zixiao was momentarily stiff. She didn't expect her daughter to be highly educated and reasonable, but at least she should have some ladylike appearance, right? This manner, what will people think? Daddy, Mom. Father, Auntie. The two girls called out immediately upon seeing Lu Chongqing and Ling Zixiao. However, Lu Wangshu felt somewhat guilty upon seeing the look on her Auntie Ling's face. This auntie usually paid great attention to posture and appearance, acting in an orderly fashion, neither hasty nor slow, and was very elegant. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., Please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1155. Seeing her daughter Lu Lingyi like this, she was obviously somewhat unhappy. Haha, Xiaohe, Daddy has something to talk to you about. Lu Chongqing pretended not to see his wife's expression and called out to his daughter with a gentle voice. Then he took his daughter to Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven and fed her an elixir medicine, making her fall into a deep sleep. Inverting yin and yang, reversing the spirit-body origin was an extremely painful process. Thus, Lu Chongqing had prepared the elixir medicine for his daughter long ago. Of course, it was because Lu Ling's condition wasn't severe and didn't require her cooperation. However, Lu Chongqing still called over Lu Miaoge, instructing her to watch over her and use Tai True water to nourish her daughter's body. Suddenly, under Ling Zixio's somewhat anxious watch, Lu Chongqing began resolving his daughter's dragon roar physique. The process was very smooth, and Lu Lingyi was unconscious throughout and did not feel anything. After a long time when Lu Lingyi woke up, she was stunned and somewhat bewildered, saying, Daddy, Mommy, Auntie, why did I fall asleep? Xiaohe, do you feel any discomfort? Ling Zixiao immediately asked with concern. Lu Lingyi tilted her head, then looked at her fair and tender palms, clenched her fists and spoke out, Mom, I feel like my body is full of strength. I could kill a tiger with one punch. Oh. Upon hearing this, Ling Zixio's face stiffened. Xiaohe should be fine now. Lu Chongqing touched his daughter's little head and said with a warm smile, Xiaohe, didn't you want to learn powerful cultivation techniques? Rest well these next few days, and then Daddy will teach you. He, Mr. Lu, had encountered very few setbacks, one of which was teaching his daughter Lu Lingyi cultivation. Now that his daughter's dragon roar physique issue was resolved, and he himself had made a core formation breakthrough, he could fully utilize magical treasures. Therefore, he was ready to use the Cave Mystique treasure mirror to instruct his daughter in her cultivation. However, having just resolved his daughter's dragon roar physique, he was greatly depleted and needed to rest and recover. Thank you, Daddy. Lu Lingyi immediately responded with joy upon hearing this. After chatting with his wife and daughter for a while, Lu Chongqing left the Mount Sumeru Cave Heaven and went next to the Xiantian spiritual vine to sit and meditate, recovering his mana. Even when he meditated normally, the spiritual energy of the entire Bai Lake Mountain would be affected. Now with the Xiantian spiritual vine, this situation had improved. The spiritual energy exuding from the vine was pure and rich, comparable to a top-tier spiritual spring, enough for his meditative cultivation. However, such meditative cultivation would affect the spiritual vine's nourishment to the spirit vein. Now that Zi Shao and Ziahe's issues are resolved, I can almost head to the Myriad Beasts mountain range. Lu Chongqing thought to himself while sitting cross-legged. However, for this trip to the Myriad Beasts mountain range, he intended to visit the Azure Phoenix Immortal City first, to deal with some of his spoils and also to see if there were any materials for crafting his magical treasures. I wonder what the current situation in Azure Phoenix Immortal City is like. How is Fei Yu now? Lu Chongqing thought of what Lu Miaoyun had told him earlier, that there had been significant turnover and unrest in the Azure Phoenix Immortal City, and he couldn't help but think of his friend in the city. Azure Phoenix Immortal City. A year ago, a dramatic change took place in Azure Phoenix Immortal City. The lineage of the ruling Azure Phoenix Immortal had been purged. Their core interests and powers were completely taken over by other families, merchant associations, and sections. This purge was carried out swiftly and decisively, without causing too much turmoil in Azure Phoenix Immortal City. Even shortly after the reshuffle, with the disappearance of the Azure Phoenix Immortal, the previously unstable situation gradually stabilized. This led many loose cultivators who had left Azure Phoenix Immortal City to return to this sacred land for loose cultivators. At this very moment, within a dark prison cell of Azure Phoenix Immortal City. Daoist Li, why must you be so stubborn? Just tell us what happened with Azure Phoenix Immortal's discovery in the ruins of Myriad Beasts mountain range, and Master White Peak will not only let you resume your position as the capital commandant but is also willing to bestow numerous elixir medicines and heavenly and earthly treasures. A red-dressed lady said to the tall, disheveled man who was locked with chains through his shoulders, hung on a cross before her. The disheveled man didn't speak, his head slightly lowered. Were it not for his breathing, one might think he was already dead. Li Fei Yu, Azure Phoenix Immortal, has already given up on the Immortal City's foundation and is fully seeking out a nascent soul opportunity. He will not return. Master White Peak has found a soul path secret treasure. Even if you don't volunteer the information, these matters will eventually be known by Master White Peak. So why do you persist, needlessly throwing away your future in life? The red-dressed lady looked at the man before her, speaking with an expression of frustration, as if scolding an obstinate child. Since Master White Peak has a soul path secret treasure, he can just use it to perform a soul search. Li Feiyu spoke in a weak and hoarse voice, his robe tattered and full of wounds, with blood-stained scars. Once such a soul path secret treasure is used to search the soul, even if you don't die, you will end up a demented fool. Why go through with this? Azure Phoenix Immortal has been kind to you, and even the opportunities you found in the ruins were exchanged for it. Even Master Zhao and Master Su are willing to submit to Master White Peak. Being just a foundation establishment cultivator, why remain so obstinately misguided? The red-dressed lady continued to speak, her tone mixed with reproach. Heh, Daoist Zhang, do you really think that by telling these things, I will have a way out? That Master White Peak would spare my life? Li Feiyu raised his head slightly, and beneath his messy hair, his weary and aged face, devoid of any color, showed a hint of sarcasm. Upon hearing this, the red-dressed lady silently pondered for a long time before saying, Master White Peak is willing to swear a Dao heart oath. Heh! Li Feiyu just sneered and said no more. Seeing this, the red-dressed lady did not say anything further. She walked out of the prison, bowed to an old man outside with white hair but a youthful face, a tall figure and vibrant spirit, saying, Immortal Master, this person still refuses to disclose the matters regarding the ruins in Myriad Beasts Mountain Range. Humph, seems this young man is certain his sea of consciousness has prohibitions, and this immortal master dare not search his soul recklessly. Master White Peak's dark and profound eyes flashed with a hint of viciousness upon hearing this. Enough. This immortal master understands. He gestured lightly to the red-dressed lady and then entered the prison cell. Sar the Defier. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1156. By Lake Mountain. Lu Family Mansion. Daddy. Lu Lingyi with her twin buns, looked cute and adorable, gazing expectantly at her father. Don't rush. Lu Chongqing said with a smile, conjuring the cave mystique treasure mirror. He then grasped his daughter's tender little hand, forcing a drop of essence blood onto the mirror. The mirror swiftly absorbed the essence blood, and then its glowing surface shimmered with speckles of rosy light, blooming like a pure and flawless five-colored lotus. Xiaohe, do you remember the words Daddy told you just now? Lu Chongqing asked his daughter gently. I remember all of it. Lu Lingyi nodded firmly. Good. Mana surged within Lu Chongqing. The cave mystique treasure mirror dazzled brightly, its reflection enveloping Lu Lingyi. In an instant, Lu Lingyi felt dizzy, and she found herself in a pitch-black space. Daddy, it's so dark. Lu Lingyi cried out. Although she wasn't afraid of the dark, suddenly being in such a lightless, silent, and dark place still made her a bit scared. Shoo! The next moment, she saw a figure of light appear in the darkness. Upon closer inspection, this figure of light actually looked exactly like her, cute and adorable with twin buns. Black Dragon Codex, use Qi as the guide, observe the transformations of the true dragon, capable of enlarging and shrinking, ascending and drawing in. The figure of light began to cultivate the Black Dragon Codex, speaking to Lu Lingyi. Watching the figure of light, Lu Lingyi was momentarily stunned, but then, remembering her father's instructions, she concentrated her mental spirit to intently watch the figure cultivate. After the figure of light demonstrated once, it slowly overlapped with Lu Ling's form. In an instant, Lu Lingyi entered a mysterious state. It was as if someone was painstakingly teaching her the Black Dragon Codex, and she felt a strange familiarity with this cultivation technique. A serious expression emerged on her pretty little face, as she cycled the technique following this mysterious sensation. Throughout the process, any slight mistake in the execution caused the figure to stop, point out the error, and then start again from the beginning. In this way, in the pitch-black space, the human form and the figure of light overlapped, tirelessly practicing the Black Dragon Codex. The technique was abstruse and profound, with many details in the cultivation process that Lu Lingyi didn't understand, causing her to make constant mistakes. But she wasn't disheartened, her little face full of seriousness. After each correction by the figure of light, she kept it in mind, ensuring not to repeat the same mistake. In the dark space where time seemed to stand still, Lu Lingyi continuously cycled the technique, guided by the figure of light. After an unknown amount of time, Lu Lingyi finally executed the Black Dragon Codex perfectly, without any errors, synchronizing with the figure of light. Sigh. Lu Chongqing, holding the cave mystique treasure mirror, watched his daughter, who was seated cross-legged, and exhaled a tired breath. Even with his core formation cultivation, sustaining such a top-grade magical treasure for a long time was not without its costs. Moreover, this treasure did not only consume mana but also heavily drained the mental spirit. However, seeing his daughter mastering the technique, he felt the effort was worthwhile. Daddy. Moments later, Lu Lingyi, groggy as if waking from a dream, instinctively embraced Lu Chongqing before her. Daddy is here. Cradling his daughter, Lu Chongqing gently asked, Xiaohe, do you still remember the process of your recent cultivation? Daddy, I remember. Lu Lingyi nodded in response and then demonstrated to Lu Chongqing. Though lacking the enhanced state provided by the cave mystique treasure mirror, there wasn't much of a problem overall. Not bad, that's wonderful. Lu Chongqing rubbed his daughter's little head and cheerfully said, Are you hungry? Daddy, I am hungry. Upon hearing this, Lu Lingyi immediately touched her flat belly and nodded her little head. Let's go, Daddy will take you for something delicious. With a slight lift of his hand, Lu Chongqing put away the cave mystique treasure mirror and spoke with a warm smile. Although his daughter didn't seem too bright, he still dearly loved and favored his obedient and innocent child. After temporarily resolving matters with his daughter Lu Lingyi, Lu Chongqing rested for half a month before preparing to head to the Myriad Beasts mountain range. Apart from mining spirit veins, he needed also to hunt a third-ranked demon king, so Lu Chongqing did not plan to bring Ling Zixiao with him. After all, the Myriad Beasts mountain range was perilous. Once targeted by several demon kings, Lu Chongqing was confident he could escape alone. But bringing Ling Zixiao would significantly increase the risks. Zixiao, Sister Miaoga, I'm counting on you to look after things at home. I will return from the Myriad Beasts mountain range in as short as half a year or as long as 1 year. If anything arises, just crush this jade talisman, and I will rush back immediately. Lu Chongqing spoke to his wives, indicating all matters concerning their children's foundation establishment and dealing with caravans should wait for his return. Chongqing, please be very careful. Lord, do not worry, we will handle things at home, the two ladies said. However, knowing that Lu Chongqing was heading to the Myriad Beasts mountain range, they couldn't help but worry. After all, the perils of the Myriad Beasts mountain range were renowned throughout Jiang country, and even in multiple cultivation worlds. Rest assured, I am aware. Lu Chongqing held his wife's hand, smiling. After bidding farewell to his wife, Lu Chongqing discreetly left by Lake Mountain, steering the Starlight Plate towards the direction of the Myriad Beasts mountain range. Now that he had achieved core formation, he could fully utilize the Starlight Plate's capabilities. Whoosh! Like a comet slicing through the sky, he entered the Nine Heavens Gang Wind. Sar the novel Ire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1157. No wonder nascent soul immortals are unbound and roam the world freely. If I travel at full speed now, I estimate that it will take half a month to reach the Myriad Beasts mountain range. When the time comes, it will be much more convenient to visit Qingshan and Qingzhou in Yu country, without the need to continuously transfer between spiritual vessels like before. Lu Chongqing, clad in a dark robe, his face valiant and majestic, stood tall and slender upon the Starlight Plate, exuding an aura as deep as the ocean and as stable as a mountain. Wind Thunderhound, I'm coming. Lu Chongqing looked towards the direction of the Myriad Beasts mountain range, his eyes slightly narrowing, whispering to himself. Although he was planning to visit Azure Phoenix Immortal City, his plan was to head to the Myriad Beasts mountain range first to capture spirit veins and hunt the Demon King. After the busy work, he would go to Azure Phoenix Immortal City, where he could deal with the chaotic gains. At the Myriad Beasts mountain range, the first stop, the first prey, naturally was the very Wind Thunderhound that had previously chased him. Hunting this Wind Thunderhound was not just to reclaim what happened before. There were rumors that the Wind Thunderhound possessed a trace of the ancient True Hound's bloodline, potentially at the heaven rank. Besides needing the blood essence spirit light to awaken the Tai Chi soul body, Lu Chongqing also needed the heavenly demon blood to cultivate the Brahma demon true saint technique. Although this true immortal level technique was extremely demanding, he would still choose dual cultivation if he could meet the conditions. After all, this technique was indeed powerful and overbearing in terms of fighting technique. Jin Kingdom, 5 Poisons Cult. Jiang Country, Tianyuan's secret realm? Nangong Meili, a stunningly enchanting beauty, wrapped in a purple silk dress, her slender heels clicking. Yes, this Tianyuan secret realm is the legendary site of the cave mansion left by Tianyuan True Monarch. We received news that within this realm, not only there is an inheritance of Tianyuan True Monarch and the heavenly origin precious lotus, but also a wordless stone stele. If a destined person can obtain a supreme opportunity from the stele, hence I want you to go to Jiang Country and verify this matter. CTH Novel Fire. Net ** website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. From above in the hall, a child with a face like beautiful jade and skin as smooth as lard, about 7 or 8 years old, wearing a silver crown hairpin and a purple-red dress, barefooted, spoke. Sect Hierarch, Meili is willing to go. Nangong Meili pondered for a moment and then cupped her hands in a salute. Good. Hearing this, the leader of the 5 Poisons cult waved, and a jade token appeared, landing in front of Nangong Meili. Someone deliberately leaked this information, so apart from our 5 Poisons cult, other forces will also go. Be extra careful. Yes, Sect Hierarch. Nangong Meili caught the token and responded. After leaving the 5 Saints Hall, Nangong Meili looked at the jade token in her hand, her slender beautiful eyes slightly narrowing, quietly muttering, Jiang Country, it's time to settle this grudge. She then conjured a jade shuttle, transforming into a divine rainbow and leaving the 5 Poisons cult. Immortal Spider Marketplace. In a magnificent palace. A 16 or 17-year-old, exquisitely beautiful girl in a purple dress, with trembling eyelashes, opened her eyes, shining like stars and azure waves, dazzlingly beautiful. Her delicate, pale hand held a jade token, exuding a purple glow. Mom's here. Her face lit up with a pure and lovely smile as she stood and walked out of the palace. Stepping out, she saw a woman resembling her in features by 7 or 80%, but with an extremely beautiful, enchanting, and alluring appearance looking tenderly at her. Mom! Nangong Yao Yao joyfully called out and dove into the woman's curvaceous embrace, affectionately nestling her small head against her. You've grown so much, yet you still act like a child. Nangong Meili looked at her daughter in her arms, the long Danfeng eyes radiating maternal warmth, her mouth curving into a smile, softly spoke. Yao Yao will always be a little child in front of Mom. Nangong Yao Yao's starry eyes shimmered, her face innocent and utterly adorable. Where is your sister Xiao Chan? Nangong Meili gently stroked her daughter's flowing soft hair as she asked. At this moment, her entire demeanor lacked any trace of enchantment or seduction. Sister Xiao Chan is cultivating. Mom, what brings you to the marketplace? Is there something? Nangong Yao Yao, linking arms with her mother, snuggled up to her shoulder, her voice joyful. There's a mission from the sect. Mom needs to make a long trip, so she came to see Yao Yao. Nangong Meili looked at her daughter, tracing bits of a familiar yet distant outline in her brows. She thought to herself, this trip to Jiang Country, for the sake of her daughter and the past affair with Misty Sky Bead, as long as the other party cooperates and surrenders the immortal golden core opportunity. Mom just returned from Heartless Ridge, how is there another mission? Nangong Yao Yao upon hearing this, instantly pouted her soft lips, feeling somewhat aggrieved. This task won't take long, I will return once I'm done. Nangong Meili's heart softened, a reluctant tone in her voice. While they talked, Meng Xiaochan hurried over. Hearing her master was going far, instructing her to take good care of Nangong Yao Yao, her heart suddenly thumped, her mind in turmoil, guessing her master's purpose. After all, the master had just returned from Heartless Ridge. Where else would there be a task now? This trip afar was very likely aimed at going to Jiang Country, seeking Lu Lang. Although she had anticipated this day, she couldn't help but worry, her thoughts in disarray. Meng Xiaochan occasionally looked at Nangong Yao Yao, considering whether to disclose the matter about Lu Chongqing. Maybe the master, considering Yao Yao's sake, would let Lu Lang off. Sister Xiaochan, what's wrong? Nangong Yao Yao, noticing Meng Xiaocan's frequent glances and beaming smile, asked. Xiaochan, your master knows your situation. Just take good care of Yao Yao. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1158. Nangong merely seemed to guess what Xiaochan was thinking and said lightly. This disciple has been deeply affected by the Lockhart goo, and even the Phoenix goo cannot solve it. So to solve it, not only does the emotional threads of the Lockhart goo need to be actively released, but she also needs to come out of it on her own. Yes, master. Upon hearing this, Meng Xiaochan felt relieved and roughly understood the meaning of her master's words. She would take good care of Nangong Yao Yao and in return, the other party would spare Lu Lang as a favor to Yao Yao, without going to extremes. Jiang Country. Myriad Beasts Mountain Range. Where did this wind thunderhound come from? After arriving at the Myriad Beasts Mountain Range, Lu Chongqing suddenly realized a problem. It was previously his commotion that led the wind thunderhound to actively pursue him to kill. So, he wasn't sure exactly where this wind thunderhound's lair was. This is a bit embarrassing. Lu Chongqing, looking upon the towering undulating mountain ranges of the vast Myriad Beasts Mountain Range, suddenly felt as if he was drawing his sword but lost in direction. Forget it. I'll start by digging up the spirit vein. Lu Chongqing decided to extract the spirit vein first before beginning to hunt the Demon King. After all, once he takes action, it would be difficult to focus on mining the spirit vein quietly afterward. Moreover, during this process, the wind thunderhound might make an appearance. Immediately, Lu Chongqing entered the mountain range with familiarity. He then released the Thousand Faces puppet fox and the seeking spirit mouse to start searching for the spirit vein. Having now achieved core formation, Lu Chongqing was much bolder than before, venturing deep into the belly of the Myriad Beasts Mountain Range. It must be said, this Myriad Beasts Mountain Range was simply full of treasures. Upon reaching the deep interior, Lu Chongqing encountered a top-tier second-rank great demon and after killing it, not only did he obtain a special monster core, but he also found several rare spiritual medicines in its cave. Following that, Lu Chongqing set up a simple small reversed 5 elements array, had the Thousand Faces puppet fox keep watch, and began extracting the spiritual vein origin. Roar! That day, just as Lu Chongqing killed a top-tier second-rank great demon and was preparing to dig the spirit vein, he suddenly heard a roar like thunder, rolling forcefully. This is the sound of the wind thunderhound. Lu Chongqing paused, immediately recognizing it as the sound of the wind thunderhound. However, judging from the sound and furor, it was far from his location and not directed at him. Could it be that other cultivators or demon beasts are confronting the wind thunderhound? Lu Chongqing frowned slightly, stepped out of the cave, and gazed towards the distant sky dome. He saw in the far sky 2 overwhelming and terrifying energies surging, causing the heavens and earth to echo with thunders like muffled roars. It's indeed the wind thunderhound, and that's a human clan cultivator. Lu Chongqing's eyes shifted with yin-yang qi, spotting a fierce beast perched in the sky dome, with a massive body several meters long, a head resembling both a lion and a tiger, terrifyingly ferocious, with a pair of purple-green wings edged in gold on its back. It was charged with demonic power, wings unfurling amidst roiling winds and thunder, stirring up a sky-covering tempest of thunder, exerting a devastating pressure of destruction. And fighting the wind thunderhound was a human figure. Whether it was a man or a woman, Lu Chongqing couldn't tell due to the distance. But it was clear the person was also a nascent soul immortal. Otherwise, they couldn't possibly contend with the wind thunderhound. At once, aura light flowed around Lu Chongqing, and his fate-defying robe shimmered with an invisible luster, concealing his entire existence as if camouflaged within the void, as he flew toward the direction of the wind thunderhound. Since his target appeared, he naturally would not let it go. Moreover, this was also an opportunity to gauge the combat abilities of the wind thunderhound and this person, roughly estimating the actual strength of a third-rank demon king and a nascent soul immortal. Ia the Novelier. NET website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1159. Lu Chongqing's figure seemed to merge with the void, arriving just outside the battle area of the wind thunderhound. From this distance, he could clearly sense the aura of one person and one beast in the air. This Wind Thunder Hound should be a third-rank early-stage demon king. As for the person confronting the Wind Thunder Hound, he was a burly, stout man. His face was fierce, his eyes like a tiger's, clad in a tiger-skin cloak that gave him a wild and domineering air, with a cultivation level probably at the initial stage of core formation. Human clan cultivators, you have disturbed my rest time and again. Do you really think I am so easily provoked? The Wind Thunder Hound looked at the burly man in front of him, speaking human language with a voice deep and resounding, like rolling thunder. As soon as demon beasts break through to the third rank, they can refine the throat bone to speak human language. Even some demon beasts can transform into human form at the third rank. However, generally, the higher the bloodline grade of the demon beast, the more difficult it is to transform. Therefore, Lu Chongqing was not surprised that the Wind Thunder Hound could talk. I have come here this time wishing to borrow your thunderstorm crystal. The burly man spoke, his voice rough and powerful, full of a wild nature. Thunderstorm crystal? You disturb my rest time and again, hunt down my descendants, and still want to borrow the thunderstorm crystal? Leave the myriad beasts mountain range immediately. The voice of the Wind Thunder Hound boomed like thunder, unleashing gusts of wind, making numerous demon beasts and cultivators in the mountain range shiver in fear. King Hound, I've come with sincerity. Here is a vial of thunder juice, the burly man, though his voice was rough and domineering. His words were not forceful, holding a purple jade vial in his hand. Thunder juice? Not interested. Leave the myriad beasts mountain range now. The Wind Thunder Hound, with pupils flashing purple lightning, gazed at the burly man and growled. In that case, I will have to take it by force. Seeing how inflexible the Wind Thunder Hound was, the burly man too became somewhat angered. He was a respected nascent soul immortal, who sincerely came to trade, yet the other side was being so arrogant and disrespectful. Ha ha ha, you cultivators of the human race are so shameless. If you want to fight, why bother with nonsense? The Wind Thunder Hound laughed loudly, then opened his vast mouth with sharp fangs, letting out a fierce, brisk, intense wave of roaring sound. These sound waves were like thunderclaps rolling, hurricanes sweeping, forming concentric circles, tearing apart the void, aiming straight for the burly man. Heaven and earth spin. The burly man with a circular great blade in hand, gripped with both hands, suddenly slashed forward, creating a trail of crimson-red energy, tearing apart the sky dome, ripping the incoming thunderous wind. At the same time, roar! Without knowing when, behind the burly man appeared a huge, fiendish white tiger with wings. This white tiger, although not as formidable as the Wind Thunder Hound, was also a third-rank demon beast, with a ferocious might, charging towards the Wind Thunder Hound. Boom boom boom. The Wind Thunder Hound roared furiously, with wind and thunder surging around its body, forming a domain that seemed to annihilate everything. A pair of wings stretched out, creating tornadoes filled with lightning arcs on both sides, intimidatingly powerful. No wonder this man dares to come to the myriad beasts mountain range to trouble this Wind Thunder Hound, having a third-rank demon beast with him. But this Wind Thunder Hound is really something. It might look like just a third-rank early stage, but its power, cultivators of the same rank are no match. This burly man dares to come, also relying on a third-rank demon beast. Lu Chongqing watched the battle between the Wind Thunder Hound and the burly man in the sky, silently pondering. This clash, Lu Chongqing couldn't tell who would win or lose momentarily. However, since the burly man dared to come looking for trouble with the Wind Thunder Hound, he probably was quite confident. How about I intervene when they are almost evenly matched and snag ahead? Lu Changsheng's eyes narrowed slightly, contemplating in his mind. His main goal on this trip was the Wind Thunder Hound. If the demon beast is snatched by someone else, wouldn't his trip be in vain? However, in his view, unless this burly man has some other tricks up his sleeve, it would be difficult to slay the Wind Thunder Hound. Lu Chongqing did not rush to act, his figure hidden in the void, quietly watching the struggle between the two sides. Boom boom boom. In the sky, three mighty waves of mana continuously collided, creating waves of battle aftershocks, terrifying and forming a domain, almost causing the void to collapse. If not for Lu Chongqing being at the core formation cultivation and wearing a fate-defying robe, he wouldn't be able to watch the battle from this close. As the two sides continued to clash, Lu Chongqing gained a general understanding of the strength of one man and two beasts. The power of the Wind Thunderhound is undoubtedly the strongest. Not only is his mana offensive surging and fierce, his physical body is also immensely strong. Neither the burly man nor his spiritual beast dared to confront the Wind Thunderhound head-on. However, this burly man is indeed remarkable, well coordinated with his spiritual beast White Tiger, and skilled in combined attack techniques. In the face of the siege by one man and one beast, the Wind Thunderhound also felt extremely frustrated, struggling to seriously hurt both. Boom boom boom, in the sky, three forces of mana constantly clashed, light overwhelming the sky dome, blasting the spaces, devastating living beings, leaving the area below the myriad beasts' mountain range in ruins. Does this man not fear at all that other demon kings might come? Lu Chongqing watched the sky, eyebrows slightly furrowed. His biggest concern about coming to the myriad beasts' mountain range had been encountering a demon king and luring others. But now, this burly man has been battling the Wind Thunderhound for so long, and yet no other demon kings have shown up. If that's the case, it will be much less difficult. Lu Chongqing stroked his chin, thinking silently. Human, you still have time to retreat now. Otherwise, I will definitely make you pay a heavy price. Ia the Nelfer. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1160. Wind Thunderhound, under the siege of the burly man, has grown impatient and roared chillingly. Just hand over the thunderstorm crystal, and I'll leave. The burly man, too, was exhausted and spoke in a deep tone. Damn it, I thought you dared to trouble the Wind Thunderhound because you had some trump card or technique. It turns out you just wanted to persistently entangle until the opponent has no choice but to hand over the item? Lu Chongqing looked at the burly man in the sky somewhat speechlessly. However, he thought it was normal. At this level of strength, to truly fight to the death and determine the winner, a price must be paid. Even a minor injury or damage to magical treasures would require a lot of time, even years or decades, to recover. Therefore, under the situation of absolute necessity, no nascent soul immortal would fight with all their might. Since you refuse to recognize what's good for you, this king shall grant your wish. Wind Thunderhound roared to the heavens, and instantly, its bodice purple patterns moved like purple thunder dragons, its aura climbing dramatically, like a barbaric fierce beast awakening. Boom, boom, boom boom. The wild wind swept across, the sky filled with dark clouds, and with flashes of lightning and thunder, a thick purple lightning column, like a giant python, violently struck down. Roar roar roar. The Wind Thunderhound continued to roar, as if it made the stars in heaven and earth shake, creating tornadoes all around that, together with the lightning column, sealed the heavens and earth, sweeping towards the burly man and a third-rank White Tiger. The wild and tyrannical aura was incredibly terrifying, completely drowning this piece of heaven and earth, as if it were the end of the world. At a distance, Lu Chongqing, under this indiscriminately fierce aura, had to fully run his fate-defying robe, the yin-yang mysterious divine light flowing, to prevent any leakage of his presence. Tiger Divine Transformation. The burly man, with a solemn expression, made a gesture incantation. His whole bodice bones crackling loudly, he was wrapped by the phantom of a white tiger. Suddenly, the spiritual beast White Tiger roared at him and merged into one with the white tiger phantom behind him in an instant. Boom boom boom. The burly man's aura of mana instantly climbed dramatically, erupting with the magical power and physical strength of a mid-nascent soul stage. His physique also growing, reaching the height of several meters and becoming covered in white fur, like a giant bear. Is this the unification technique? Lu Chongqing, seeing this technique, was somewhat surprised. He had just noticed that this burly man was proficient in beast-taming techniques and was very compatible with the spiritual beast. He didn't expect the other party could merge with the spiritual beast. He had heard from Hong Lian that to achieve this step, not only must the cultivator and the spiritual beast be spiritually compatible, but the spiritual beast must also cultivate corresponding techniques. Could this person be a nascent soul immortal from the spirit-taming sect? Lu Chongqing speculated in his heart. There are not many nascent soul cultivators in Jiang country. Being close to the spirit-taming sect, and with this man's techniques related to beast-taming, Lu Chongqing instantly speculated. Boom boom boom, in the sky dome, both sides unleashed their trump cards, going all out. The terrifying forces collided, and the shock waves produced were like 9-day thunderclaps, making the heavens and earth flicker unpredictably. The terrifying onslaught instantly whipped up endless aftershocks, wildly ravaging everything, one layer stronger than the last, submerging everything in its path. Rumble rumble. After a long while, the energy fluctuations in the sky dome dissipated quite a bit, revealing the Wind Thunderhound's massive body with a crimson wound, bleeding profusely. CTH Novel Fire. Net ** website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. And the burly giant man, resembling a giant bear, had multiple charred areas on his body. Human, you deserve to die. Wind Thunderhound's pupils, emitting a purple sheen, were filled with murderous intent, hideously growling. King of the Hound, I told you, I just want the thunderstorm crystal. The voice of the burly man, now like the roar of a white tiger, rolled thunderously, echoing between heaven and earth. But Lu Chongsheng could hear that the man's voice was much weaker, and knew that it was very difficult for this person to kill the Wind Thunderhound with such methods. If this is the extent of your strength, then this peach, I shall pluck. Lu Chongsheng watched this scene, his expression calm and indifferent. 9 treasures Rui Bone. Essence. Energy. Spirit. Boom. Breastbone runes interwove, erupting a brilliant divine light, making his physical body, mana, and divine sense roar like a tsunami. In an instant, Lu Changsheng's figure seemed to stretch slightly, his cultivation advancing from the first layer to the second layer of golden core. But it did not stop there. Third layer of golden core. Fourth layer of golden core. Fifth layer of golden core. Whew! Above in the sky dome, the bear-like burly man immediately looked in Lu Changsheng's direction and shouted out. It was astonishing that he hadn't noticed someone hiding in the shadows during the battle. Lu Chongsheng remained silent, his Qi Ocean Core and Yin Yang Great Path Golden Core trembled, running at full power, rising a bright glow that made the Golden Core's mana roar like a true dragon. Yin Yang Qi Grasp. A mysterious Yin Yang Qi surged out from the top of Lu Changsheng's head, shooting into the clouds and in a blink formed a 100-jong great hand with flowing Yin Yang, slightly curling its massive fingers. This grand and awe-inspiring palm pressed down, bearing down on Wind Thunderhound. Roar! Seeing this, Wind Thunderhound screamed, its wind and thunder wildly surging, forming a tyrannical and dominating field. Boom boom boom. The day-darkening big handprint directly suppressed the wind and thunder field, and then grasped the massive body of the Wind Thunderhound in its hand, dimming Wind Thunderhound's winds and thunders as it struggled and roared but couldn't escape the firm grip of the handprint. This. The nearby bear-like burly man, seeing this, was completely dumbfounded, as if he had seen a ghost. It should be noted this is the third-rank demon king Wind Thunderhound. Even if he exerted all his strength and used the unification technique, he could only suppress Wind Thunderhound. Without paying a heavy price, he couldn't possibly kill it. As for capturing it so easily, it was even more impossible. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1161. But at this moment, this man managed to suppress the Wind Thunderhound with just a single move. What kind of power, what kind of divine skills? Spirit Taming Sect's Venerable Wuxia has seen the senior. He immediately adopted a respectful demeanor, cupping one fist in the other hand towards Lu Chongsheng and reported his affiliation. There are only so many nascent soul immortals in Jiang country cultivation realm, and he had never seen Lu Chongsheng before. The appearance of an unknown nascent soul immortal in front of him, especially one who suppressed the Wind Thunderhound with a divine skill, truly made him anxious, unsure if Lu Chongsheng would take action against him. Therefore, by announcing his sect, he signified that if anything happened to him, the Spirit Taming Sect would be immediately informed and come to his aid. Spirit Taming Sect, roaring true person. Upon hearing this, Lu Chongsheng thought to himself that the other indeed was a nascent soul immortal from the Spirit Taming Sect. He, clad in a mystic robe with an expression calm and indifferent, said lightly, "This Wind Thunderhound, I shall keep it." The words were plain and simple, yet filled with an undeniable authority and dominance. For this Wind Thunderhound to catch the eye of the senior, it is its good fortune. Venerable Wuxia's demeanor was extremely humble. Bind! Lu Chongsheng slightly nodded, lifted his palm gently, and performed a gesture incantation. Instantly, Yin Yang energy swirled across the sky, and a clearly defined gigantic hand, like mist, enveloped and submerged the wind thunderhound, causing it to continuously wail and roar, weakening in spirit. A moment later, the giant hand began to shrink, gradually turning into a fist-sized ball flowing with yin-yang energies, spinning in the air before flying into Lu Changsheng's hand. This yin-yang qi grasp, as a capturing divine skill, naturally had the power to bind and restrain. However, such restraint greatly consumed mana, and it required the divine skill to be cultivated to a highly profound degree before it could be executed. Had the Wind Thunderhound not been injured just now, even if Lu Changxing had boosted his cultivation and mana to the middle stage of nascent soul through the 9 treasures Rui Bone, he wouldn't have been able to easily capture it. Golden Core true person, this man must be a great cultivator of the Golden Core. Venerable Hu Xiao, beholding such a technique, was left with a dry throat and a trembling mental spirit. S.E.A. The Oval Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. He secretly thought that if Lu Changxing took a trip to the Myriad Beasts mountain range, who knows how many demon kings would be doomed. Who exactly is this man, and how could such a golden core true person appear in Jiang country cultivation realm? Lu Changxing, observing the yin-yang small ball in his hand that trembled and vibrated constantly, surged mana through it, and with a fierce grip, he quelled the wind thunderhound within. Then, turning towards the venerable Hu Xiao in front of him, he asked, "Since you are a cultivator from the spirit taming sect, do you have a map of the Myriad Beasts mountain range and information on the demon kings?" He had not known the exact location of the wind thunderhound earlier, and thus was unaware of the situations of other demon kings. Since the spirit taming sect bordered the Myriad Beasts mountain range and guarded it all year round, they were presumably very familiar with the situation here. "Naturally, I have it. Please wait a moment, Senior." Venerable Hu Xiao immediately said and took out 2 jade slips from his storage ring, handing them over to Lu Changxing. Lu Changxing received the jade slips and probed them with his divine sense. He saw that inside was a map of Myriad Beasts mountain ranges terrain, clearly marked with the mountain ranges trends and information on the demon kings. Although it did not encompass all the details of the Myriad Beasts mountain range, it recorded the situations of demon kings within 10,000 miles. The other jade slip contained detailed information on many demon kings in the Myriad Beasts mountain range. With this map, hunting demon kings will be much simpler. A hint of a smile appeared in Lu Changsheng's eyes, then he said to Venerable Hu Xiao, "I heard that you were looking for thunderstorm crystals from this wind thunderhound. Since that is the case, you shall accompany me to its nest, and if we find any thunderstorm crystals, they will serve as your reward." Lu Changxing spoke. He might not be an utterly benevolent man, but he wasn't a villain either. Since this venerable Hu Xiao was so tactful, it wasn't necessary to resort to killing. Moreover, being from the spirit taming sect, should he kill him or should there be any complications, attracting the attention of the spirit taming sect would be very troublesome. Better to create a good karma and simply send the other party away with a minor rebuke. "Many thanks, Senior." Venerable Hu Xiao was overjoyed upon hearing this and immediately paid his respects with a bow. He then led Lu Changxing to the cave of the Wind Thunderhound. There were also several second-order great demons in the cave. But sensing the demon beast aura oozing from Venerable Huxiao's body, they immediately became trembling with fear. The suppression of bloodline rank among demon beasts was extremely severe. Even though Venerable Huxiao's third-order spirit beast bloodline rank was not high, at most an earth-grade bloodline, it was enough to leave these second-order great demons with no will to resist. This is a third-order spirit vein. Upon entering the cave, Lu Changxing immediately sensed a small third-order spirit vein beneath the mountain where the Wind Thunderhound resided, causing a thrill to surge in his heart. The cave of Wind Thunderhound was immensely spacious, with many spirit ores and crystal stones embedded in the walls and many rare spiritual medicines grown as well. Once demon beasts reach second order, they possess a certain spiritual intelligence. The intelligence of a third-ranked demon king is no less than that of humans, knowing to collect heavenly and earthly treasures. Thus, the harvest from hunting a third-ranked demon king is incredibly lucrative. As the two of them ventured deeper, they suddenly felt a wild and overwhelming aura. This is Thunder Tribulation Lake. Lu Changxing instantly saw a body of water deep within the cave. The lake was about half an acre in size, shrouded with layers of lightning, with the occasional bubbles emerging. When these burst, they released a wisp of a violent dark purple aura. This Thunder Tribulation Lake has reached third order, If one were to spend time and effort, it is estimated that every 100 years or so, one could refine a core formation spiritual object, Gang Chi of Thunder Tribulation. It's a pity that my dragon-seeking technique is only second rank. If I want to extract the Thunder Tribulation spirit vein from beneath the lake, it would surely consume greatly, at most producing a second-order Thunder Tribulation lake. Lu Chongqing thought to himself. Venerable Hu Xiao was tempted by the Thunder Tribulation lake, but didn't harbor much ambition for it. After all, such spirit veins, unless one has great magical power and miraculous Dharma treasure, can hardly be moved. He looked toward a place not far away, where 3 melon-sized pale golden crystal stones enshrouded in wind and thunder were placed. He bowed to Lu Chongqing and said, "Senior, these are thunderstorm crystals, I only need one." Venerable Hu Xiao wanted to take all 3 thunderstorm crystals, as with them, his spirit beast not only had the hope of breaking bloodline limits but also to advance further. However, Lu Changsheng's abilities truly terrified him, so he dared not be too greedy and anger him. Agreed. Lu Chongqing nodded slightly. After Venerable Hu Xiao stored 1 thunderstorm crystal in his storage ring, he voiced his thanks. "I appreciate it, Senior." Venerable Hu Xiao takes his leave. Lu Chongqing nodded, signaling for the other to leave. Venerable Hu Xiao immediately turned into a rainbow light and left the peak of the Wind Thunder Hound. He then disengaged from his spirit beast fusion, his body resembling a brutish bear as it shrank and his aura weakened. He rode the white tiger back to the spirit taming sect. Even with Lu Changsheng's friendly demeanor, the sudden appearance of an unknown golden core true person within the Jiang country cultivation realm meant they must make strategic preparations. Especially since Lu Chongqing suppressed the Wind Thunder Hound and asked him for maps of Myriad Beasts mountain range and information on Demon Kings. This made him seriously doubt that the other party planned to slay Demon Kings here. 1 or 2 might still be fine, but if done excessively, it would certainly provoke the enmity of Demon Kings and might even unleash a beast tide. Therefore, in the face of such a situation, the spirit taming sect had to be prepared and guarded against it. Once Lu Chongqing confirmed that Venerable Hu Xiao had left, the effects of the 9 treasures Rui Bone receded like the tide. His cultivation fell step by step from the 5th layer of golden core to the foundation establishment 1st layer, leaving him feeling weak and empty. This feeling is really unpleasant. Lu Chongqing let out a long sigh, feeling sore and uncomfortable all over, realizing he would need at least half a month of rest to employ such a technique again. Nonetheless, through this battle and simple display of power, he also got a rough estimate of his own strength. Facing an early-stage 3rd-ranked Demon King, he could basically decide the outcome swiftly. With it, he should be able to suppress a 3rd-order middle-stage Demon King with full strength. As for late-stage Great Demon Kings, it's better to avoid them if possible. Time to get to work. Lu Chongqing looked at the cave in front of him with a smile, released the 1,000 Faces puppet fox, and started to work by arranging the small 5 elements reversal formation around the cave. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1162. Venerable Hu Xiao returned to the spirit taming sect, riding the spiritual beast White Tiger. After a brief reorganization, he went to the palace atop Mount Yuling. Sect leader brother sister Huayu, are you both here? Upon entering the palace, Venerable Hu Xiao saw the sect leader of Yuling sect discussing matters with a nascent soul immortal and expressed his surprise. Venerable Hu Xiao, weren't you heading to the Myriad Beasts mountain range? Was everything smooth? The sect leader of Yuling sect noticed that Venerable Huxiao's magic aura was a bit rushed and chaotic, having expended a great deal of mana, and had just experienced a major battle. He voiced his concern. Sect leader brother, I was engaged in battle with the Wind Thunder Hound when I encountered a core formation Grand Cultivator. Venerable Hu Xiao immediately spoke up, recounting the incident with Lu Chongqing. What, a core formation Grand Cultivator? Another unknown nascent soul true person has appeared? The sect leader of Yuling sect and Sister Huayu looked at each other in astonishment upon hearing this. Another. Venerable Hu Xiao was taken aback by this remark, sensing that something was amiss. Sister Huayu came back with news from the Heavenly Sword sect that several nascent soul true persons have infiltrated our Jiang country, most likely for the Tianyuan secret realm. They advised us to be extra vigilant. The sect leader of Yuling sect spoke gravely, then with a serious expression inquired. Venerable Hu Xiao, you said this person suppressed the Wind Thunder Hound with a single divine skill. Can you discern which power or lineage this person comes from? I'm not sure. This person's divine abilities seem to contain the flow of yin-yang qi, somewhat reminiscent of the methods of the yin-yang sect, but their mana was overwhelming and dignified, not like the yin-yang sect. Venerable Wuxia shook his head. Moreover, this person's magical power was extraordinarily profound, as if imbued with an undying essence, likely a golden core true person. Otherwise, the Wind Thunder Hound, even weakened, would not have been easily suppressed and detained by him. But I have never heard of such a core formation grand cultivator from any faction. Venerable Wuxia spoke with a grave expression, continuing on. If Lu Chongqing only managed to kill the Wind Thunder Hound by catching it off guard, Venerable Wuxia wouldn't have been so shocked. But the divine skill that captured and detained the Wind Thunder Hound truly startled him. Golden Core Grand Cultivator. The complexions of the sect leader of Yuling sect and Sister Huayu both turned grave upon hearing this. A superior gold core represents the cream of the crop among those of the same tier. Not only was this person a core formation grand cultivator, but also potentially a golden core true person, which was truly terrifying. Such an existence in the Myriad Beasts mountain range, within the domain of their spirit taming sect, was indeed cause for concern. Especially at this sensitive time. It seems the Tian Yuan's secret realm has been deliberately publicized. Otherwise, there wouldn't be such golden core grand cultivators coming to our Jiang country. Sister Huayu spoke in a heavy tone. Venerable Wuxia, that person didn't attack you? The sect leader of Yuling sect looked at Venerable Wuxia and asked. It seems he had no malicious intent, but he demanded a map of the Myriad Beasts mountain range and information on the Demon Kings from me, so I had to be cautious. Venerable Wuxia spoke. During those years of the Beast Tide, their spirit taming sect was severely weakened. Although they have recovered much over the years thanks to the abundant gains from the Beast Tide, they couldn't withstand further turmoil. A map of the Myriad Beasts mountain range? Since that person had no great hostility, we should refrain from acting rashly for now. Regarding this matter, I'll immediately send a message to the Heavenly Sword sect to see what their intentions are, the sect leader of Yuling sect said after pondering for a while. While the Jiang country cultivation realm has the 4 great immortal sects, it's essentially the Heavenly Sword sect that leads. Now that the situation is getting more serious, with the appearance of core formation cultivators, they naturally want to see how the Heavenly Sword sect plans to respond. Whether it will be to take the initiative to strike, set a trap, or lure the enemy deeper. The Myriad Beasts mountain range. Inside a cave. No wonder most nascent soul true persons, even if they are third-level array masters, alchemists, artifact refiners, or talisman masters, rarely earn money through these skills. Ia the novel Ire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. With such strength, they simply do not value the hard-earned money from skills. At most, they refine pills or create artifacts out of personal relationships for friends and juniors, or use their skills to cultivate their minds and gain insights through analogy. Lu Chongqing cleaned the cave of the Wind Thunder Hound. He not only obtained the third-order spirit vein, the thunderstorm vein, but also a heap of heavenly and earthly treasures. Apart from the origin source of the spirit vein, the thunderstorm vein, just the thunderstorm crystals and these treasures were worth hundreds of thousands of spirit stones. Not to mention the most precious Wind Thunder Hound itself. As a third-ranked demon king, it was a true treasure trove. This was the very reason why Lu Chongqing was willing to expend great magical power to subdue and detain it with the yin-yang qi grasp before killing it. To keep its body as intact as possible. Otherwise, if the body is damaged, its value would greatly diminish. Although this Wind Thunder Hound is a third-ranked demon king, capable of forming blood essence spirit light, its divine abilities are not suitable for me. Lu Chongqing examined the jade slip from the roaring true person and began to consider which demon king to hunt next. This Wind Thunder Hound was quite good, but its innate divine ability was an offensive divine ability. With his own offensive divine abilities, talismans, third-order body refining, Thunder Gang Dragon Flame, and 9-colored Tribulation Light, he was not lacking in offensive techniques. The same held true for defense. With body refinement, protective divine light, yin-yang mysterious divine light, and the 4th-grade life substitute talisman. So in his view, the divine ability awakened by the Tai soul body must be carefully chosen to be of help to him. The Void Mouse King, 3rd rank early stage, has the innate ability of concealment and stealth. Unless faced with a nascent soul true lord, once it goes into hiding, it is difficult to detect its presence or trace. Acquiring this ability would be good, but that Mouse King is probably not easy to find. The blazing gold toad, third order middle stage, has the innate ability to devour the heavenly spiritual fire, which can form an unparalleled divine flame. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1163. Not bad. If I can obtain this divine skill, maybe my Thunder Gang Dragon Flame could advance further. It's just that this blazing gold toad still shares its dwelling with another gold toad. Golden-eyed Fire Ape, third stage mid-level Demon King. Its innate ability is a pair of fire golden eyes, unparalleled in attack, capable of piercing through illusions and discerning the weaknesses of others. This divine skill is also not bad. Right now I just happen to be lacking this kind of measure. Lu Chongqing continuously reviewed the profiles of demon kings within the Jade Slip. It must be said, the demon kings of the Myriad Beasts mountain range are no simple creatures. Essentially Earth-grade bloodline demon beasts with various innate divine skills, which are extremely enticing to him. Unfortunately, the Tai soul body can only use one blood essence spirit light to awaken, so he can only choose one of these demon kings. Besides himself, Lu Chongqing was also seeking out a suitable demon king and divine skill for his son, Lu Qingxian. Sun Moon Resplendent Butterfly, third stage mid-level demon king, with a mutated bloodline, possesses two types of innate divine skills, with combat power comparable to that of a late-stage core formation great cultivator. At that moment, Lu Chengsheng's heart stirred upon seeing the information about a certain demon king. This demon king had one offensive and one defensive divine skill each. And according to the information recorded on the Jade Slip, both divine skills of the Sun Moon Resplendent Butterfly were top tier. Even late-stage core formation great cultivators find it difficult to subdue this Sun Moon Resplendent Butterfly. Can I comprehend its two divine skills through the blood essence spirit light? Furthermore, since this Sun Moon Resplendent Butterfly has dual divine skills, the probability of mastering its divine skills should also be much larger. Lu Chongqing pondered inwardly. Although it's highly probable to acquire the demon beast's divine skill through the awakening of the Tai soul body with blood essence spirit light, it's not a certainty. CTH Novel, F. Iyer. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. There's still a small chance of not mastering it. Lu Chongqing was tempted by this Sun Moon Resplendent Butterfly, mainly thinking of awakening the Tai soul body for his son, Lu Qingxian. After all, in his current state, such dual divine skills were not very useful to him. But for his son, if he could master one offensive and one defensive divine skill during the foundation establishment stage, he would be an invincible existence. With my current abilities, it might be a bit difficult to subdue this Sun Moon Resplendent Butterfly. I might as well leave it for now, as a future option. Lu Chongqing wasn't too anxious about his son's awakening with the blood essence spirit light. After all, the process of awakening the Tai soul body is perilous, and it's best done after foundation establishment. His son was still young. There was plenty of time. Since that's the case, let's first deal with this golden-eyed fire ape. After a long observation, Lu Chongqing sat cross-legged, planning to make a move on the golden-eyed fire ape once his condition had recovered. Although the opponent possessed the strength of a third-order middle stage, as long as he could kill it, Lu Chongqing still felt moderately confident. If unfeasible, he could always just run away. 1.5 months later. Myriad Beasts Mountain Range. Divine Ape Ridge. This was the territory of the third-ranked Demon King, the golden-eyed fire ape. Be careful. Dressed in the fate-defying robe with an invisible luster flowing around, Lu Chongqing released the Thousand Faces puppet fox to lure out the golden-eyed fire ape. Then he would take the chance to make his move. Yes, master. The Thousand Faces puppet fox nodded in response. Then with a swoosh it shot into the sky, a spiritual pressure of a third-ranked demon king radiating from its body, attacking randomly in all directions. Roar! Before long, a roar echoed. A huge immense ape, tens of feet tall, covered in pure gold hair and well-fanged, with a potent aura, appeared. Its body covered in pure gold fur swayed in the wind, looking incredibly fierce. It had a pair of gleaming golden eyes, like two suns, dazzling and splendid, shooting out beams of scorching light, intense and daunting. Shoop! The Thousand Faces puppet fox dodged these two beams of attack, causing them to strike a distant mountain peak, exploding violently and igniting raging flames. "You are not from the demon race. Who are you, and why do you provoke me, the king?" The golden-eyed fire ape's chi blood surged, its pure gold fur appearing to be engulfed in a layer of crimson flame, fierce and domineering as it roared. "You noticed that quickly?" Lu Chongqing was surprised, not expecting the golden-eyed fire ape to instantly realize that the Thousand Faces puppet fox was not from the demon race. Initially, without the system's information, even he couldn't immediately tell that the Thousand Faces puppet fox was a puppet. But at this moment, he did not hesitate, fully operating the 9 treasures Rui bone. After all, the Thousand Faces puppet fox was not adept at frontal combat. If it were to be injured by the golden-eyed fire ape, this trip would be a great loss for him. Boom boom boom. The 9 treasures Rui bone on his chest burst forth with resplendent divine light, elevating Lu Changsheng's physical body, mana, and divine sense like a volcanic eruption, his cultivation and magical power of first layer of golden core rising steadily. Golden core second layer. Golden core third layer. Golden core fourth layer. Golden core fifth layer. Yin-yang Qi grasp. A profoundly mysterious yin-yang Qi burst forth from the top of Lu Changsheng's head, instantly transforming into an enormous hand imbued with yin-yang Qi, spanning hundreds of feet, and bearing down upon the golden-eyed fire ape with overwhelming force. Damn humans! Golden-eyed fire ape's gaze immediately turned toward Lu Chongqing, and with a thunderous roar, the voice rumbled as if it were thunder, making one's chi blood churn and surge. The ape's towering stature suddenly swelled, resembling a towering, flame-engulfed mountain, ready to tear apart the sky obscuring yin-yang handprint. Shoo shoo shoo! Simultaneously, 9 third-order talismans transformed into beams of golden light, sealing off the golden-eyed fire ape from all directions. 9-colored tribulation light. Facing this golden-eyed fire ape, Lu Chongqing never thought of subduing it as easily as he did with the Wind Thunderhound, but intended to fight swiftly and decisively. Boom! Lu Changsheng's chest surged as if the sun was rising, shining upon the earth, emanating a 9-colored divine light. The divine light was deep and prison-like, sacred and splendid, composed of countless tadpole-like runes, filled with an aura capable of destroying all dharma, swarming before Lu Chongqing, making him appear akin to a divine deity. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1164. Roar. As a demon beast, the golden-eyed fire ape's instincts were extremely sharp. It instantly sensed a dangerous tremor from Lu Chongqing and felt a chilling terror. Its pair of golden eyes suddenly filled with a fiery red light, burning the skies, attempting to break free from the yin-yang hand and dodge this strike. Saw the novel. F.I.R. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. But in addition to the yin-yang Qi grasp, there were also 9 third-rank suppression talismans and the Thousand Faces puppet fox. The Thousand Faces puppet fox's charming pupils shone with an enchanting luster, continuously disturbing the golden-eyed fire ape's mental spirit. Its snow-white foxtail twisted and rose, several meters in size, emitting a powerful and surging great magical power pressing down on the golden-eyed fire ape. Her main methods are charm and illusion, but that does not mean she has no combat power. At this time, Lu Changsheng's expression was indifferent, like a true immortal descending to earth, stepping towards the golden-eyed fire ape. The 9-colored tribulation light in front of his chest was intensely bright and dominant, annihilating all things in the universe, turning everything it passed into dust, and shining upon the golden-eyed fire ape. Boom boom boom. In an instant, the golden-eyed fire ape's fur, burning with red flames, began to be extinguished under the 9-colored tribulation light, turning to ash, its flesh beginning to crack, with pale golden blood seeping out. The endless tribulation light surged, runes densely packed, as if grand sounds of the great Tao echoed, engulfing the golden-eyed fire ape, causing it to continuously roar and bellow. This wailing sound made countless demon beasts in the myriad beasts mountain range tremble with fear, crawling and howling, wondering why this demon king was making such sounds. What's happening? It seems like the roar of the golden-eyed fire ape king. Someone is fighting with it. Some cultivators hunting demon beasts in the mountain range couldn't help but look over. They only saw the mountain-sized golden-eyed fire ape enveloped by a brilliant 9-colored divine light, wailing and roaring. In an instant, everyone felt a tremor in their hearts, trembling uncontrollably. This aura was too terrifying and astonishing, making it seem as if the entire universe was trembling. Even from a great distance, they felt an inexplicable pulse of dread. Some nearby Foundation establishment cultivators dared not look directly at the divine light, feeling a burning pain in their eyes. This process did not last long. Merely half a moment later, the golden-eyed fire ape howled sadly, its aura withering, its massive body gradually shrinking. The patterns of yin and yang flowed in the sky dome, a distinct big handprint thunderously descended, scooping out the enveloped golden-eyed fire ape in the nine-colored tribulation light. "Let's go!" Lu Changsheng's face was somewhat pale, holding a small sphere with yin-yang energy in his hand, quickly entered the golden-eyed fire ape's cave mansion, swept through it, and then left directly without taking the origin of the spirit vein. It wasn't that he didn't want the spirit vein inside, but because he was greatly exhausted now and his body was under a heavy load. If a demon king or others were to arrive later, it would be very troublesome to be blocked inside the cave. So now he quickly swept through once, planning to find a place to recover his state first, and then come back to dig 3 feet into the ground. The golden-eyed fire ape king was suppressed? How long was that? Could this person be a nascent soul true lord? No, it should not be a nascent soul true lord, but a nascent soul grand cultivator. I just seem to see 2 figures, probably 2 nascent soul immortals. Many cultivators looking towards the now calm direction of Divine Ape Ridge were all shocked, trembling uncontrollably. This level of combat power, these kinds of techniques were simply astonishing. They had just resolved a 3rd-order demon king in such a short time. It's known that such a demon king, compared to a same-rank cultivator, is basically on a higher level. Hurry up and leave. If this person continues to hunt demon kings in the Myriad Beasts mountain range, it will surely provoke a group attack by the demon kings, or even a beast tide. Some people, seeing this scene, immediately gave up hunting demon beasts and prepared to leave the Myriad Beasts mountain range. Because once they provoke the demon kings to actively surround and kill humans, they are bound to die, completely unable to escape the Myriad Beasts mountain range. As for the commotion he caused, Lu Chongqing was not aware. He had never been to the Myriad Beasts mountain range before, and his understanding of it was limited to its general situation, but not the details. Moments later, Lu Chongqing, with the assistance of the 1,000 Faces puppet fox, slaughtered a 2nd-order great demon, occupied its cave mansion, immediately set up the minor 5 elements inversion formation, and took several prepared elixir medicines. Boom boom boom. Lu Changsheng's musculoskeletal system made crackling sounds, his mana retreating like a tide, his face not only pale but also his aura somewhat weakened. Under normal circumstances, such a reinforcement by the 9 treasures Rui Bone would not cause him too great a burden. But under such reinforcement, fully deploying the 9-colored tribulation light, even though he had 3rd-order body refining, still imposed a certain load on him. And if it wasn't for the Tianyuan Supreme King Lotus acting as his second Dantian, his mana would have almost been drained. If I don't go all out, this is roughly my limit in combat power. Lu Chongqing took a deep breath, holding 2 high-quality spirit stones and sat cross-legged. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1165. Myriad Beasts Mountain Range. Inside a mountain cave. Whew! Lu Chongqing slowly opened his eyes, exhaling turbid air, his face rosy and full, his eyes bright with vigor, his pupils shifting with yin and yang, like the cyclical sun and moon. He lifted a hand, and a small yin-yang ball appeared, transforming into a large, vague, terrifying body of a fierce creature. It was the body of the golden-eyed fire ape. Tai Chi soul body, fire golden eye. Lu Chongqing looked at the body in front of him, preparing to use this golden-eyed fire ape to awaken the Tai Chi soul body. The opponent's innate divine ability was extraordinary. He recognized the condition of the 1,000 Faces puppet fox at first glance. If he could acquire this innate divine ability, it would not only help in magical duels, but also in exploring spirit veins and detecting dangers. Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. Lu Chongqing opened his mouth and spewed out fierce red-purple flames that rolled out, forming a serpentine dragon-like shape with lightning arcs flowing through it. Refine. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame enveloped the body of the golden-eyed fire ape, intending to refine it into blood essence spirit light. Boom boom boom. As the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame burned the body of the golden-eyed fire ape, A vaguely visible image of an ape screamed and roared within it. This was the soul of the golden-eyed fire ape. Blood essence spirit light, meticulously refined from the full-body essence blood and soul of a third-rank demon king. If the demon beast had died a long time ago and the soul had scattered, it would be impossible to refine the blood essence spirit light, or the refined blood essence spirit light would be flawed. Thus, to ensure the soul's integrity, Lu Chongqing acted the moment its life force faded and immediately captured it with the 1 Qi grand capture. Boom boom boom. The Thunder Gang dragon flame, like a divine furnace of thunder and fire, smelted the essence blood and soul of the golden-eyed fire ape into one. During this process, the flesh of the golden-eyed fire ape gradually withered. All the essence blood and soul slowly formed a cloud of red mist, shimmering with golden luster, and fresh red blood of the golden-eyed fire ape barely visible. Lu Changsheng's expression was solemn, his demeanor dignified as he continuously formed gesture incantations, condensing the blood essence spirit light. Time passed unknowingly, and this cluster of blood gradually formed into an egg-sized, radiant, red gem-like agate divine marrow. The gem was radiant and splendid, shining brilliantly, filled with intense scarlet divine brilliance, and surging with a powerful life force that illuminated the entire cave dazzlingly. Blood essence spirit light, it's done. Lu Chongqing looked at the gem in front of him, his eyes sparkling with joy. He had already been clear on the method to awaken the Tai Chi soul body. Considering his environment, Lu Chongqing slapped the Yin corpse bag, releasing the endless guileful head for an additional layer of protection. After completing the preparations, Lu Changsheng's brow shone as he implanted the blood essence spirit light into the sea of consciousness of his own forehead. Buzz! Blood essence spirit light entered the sea of consciousness at the center of his forehead, instantly boiling like hot water, diffusing endless crimson radiance, with a faint apparition of a golden-eyed fire ape. Lu Changsheng's soul, sharp as a sword, actively collided with the blood essence spirit light in front of him. Boom! In an instant, the blood essence spirit light exploded with blood radiance, crimson light flowing like a fire cloud in all directions, filling Lu Changsheng's sea of consciousness. Hiss hiss hiss. In the sea of consciousness, the peach blossom goo seemed provoked, awakening and gazing towards the apparition of the golden-eyed fire ape. Lu Chongqing immediately suppressed the peach blossom goo, not letting it interfere with the awakening of his Tai Chi soul body. Boom boom boom, the blood essence spirit light like a red sun, shone brilliantly in Lu Changsheng's sea of consciousness, causing his soul to feel a scorching piercing pain. Having experienced the awakening of the blood talisman spiritual body before, Lu Chongqing knew such pain was inevitable. He circulated the Sun-Moon Samsara technique to withstand this intense pain. Buzz! After an indeterminate time, Lu Changsheng's soul gradually formed into a tiny human shape, surrounded by winding golden runes that appeared and flowed with radiant mystical light. At this moment, the blood essence spirit light found a pour-out point and actively surged towards the tiny soul figure. Lu Changsheng's soul faced scorching pain, actively absorbing the power within the blood essence spirit light. Gradually, his soul was enveloped in blood radiance, forming a splendidly crystalline blood-red cocoon. As the blood radiance of the blood essence spirit light continued to flow, the blood cocoon grew larger, nurturing and stimulating Lu Changsheng's soul, making him feel comfortable yet pained. Ia the Novelier. NET website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Aside from his soul, during this process, Lu Changsheng's flesh, meridians, and dantian were all illuminated in red under the influence of the blood essence spirit light, permeated with a mysterious aura. Though the Tai Chi soul body is a soul path spiritual body, this awakening process also sanctifies and enhances the physical body. Boom boom boom. Although enveloped by the blood essence spirit light, Lu Chongqing could still see his surroundings and his Buddha's condition. The entire person sat motionless, his countenance dignified and solemn, his body completely suffused in red, his blood roaring like rivers and seas, thunderously resounding. All over his body, his meridians, bones, and internal organs vibrated in unison, like a divine weapon being forged, clanging sonorously, full of divine anomalies. Under this sanctification, Lu Chongqing felt that his 100 refinements treasure body art was about to break through. But now, as the Tai Chi soul body was awakening, he suppressed this thrill and focused on fully awakening the Tai Chi soul body. Time passed bit by bit. In Lu Changsheng's sea of consciousness, the blood essence spirit light gradually dispersed, leaving only a large blood-red cocoon. This blood cocoon floated up and down in the sea of consciousness, wrapped in red mists, hazy and elusive, its surface seeming to ripple with mysterious patterns, filled with the essence of Tao. Crack! After an unknown duration, a crisp sound came from the blood cocoon. A thin layer of blood shell cracked and transformed into a waft of pure soul power that dissipated and nourished the sea of consciousness. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1166. A moment later, another crackling sound was heard, accompanied by a layer of blood crust shattering. S.E.A. The Nell Fire. NT website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Crack. 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 As time passed, the shattering became more frequent. Suddenly, the blood cocoon wrapped in a red glow, covered with cracks, numerous splendid and brilliant golden lights burst forth from the surface. Boom! The blood cocoon completely broke open, and within it appeared a tiny soul figure identical to Lu Chongqing. The small figure was flawless and untainted, with a golden luster flowing, as if it was a divine being. The shattered blood cocoon transformed into streams of extremely pure soul power, nourishing Lu Changsheng's sea of consciousness, making the golden small figure appear even more divine and solid. 4,000 zhang. 5,000 zhang. 6,000 zhang. 7,000 zhang. 8,000 zhang. 9,000 zhang. As Lu Changsheng's soul kept solidifying, his divine sense skyrocketed wildly. From the original 3,600 zhang, directly increasing to 9,000 zhang. Typically, for those in the late stage of core formation, divine sense is 7,000 zhang. 9,000 zhang. This has already reached the level of the peak of core formation. Is this the Tai soul body? Lu Changsheng's heart surged with joy as he quietly sensed the condition of his own soul. Apart from the divine sense, his soul was several times more condensing and pure compared to before. This meant that he had a considerable resistance against techniques such as illusion, charm, intimidation, and other soul attack methods. Unless a nascent soul true lord attacked, ordinary nascent soul cultivator's soul attacks would hardly be effective against him. And when he used his own soul-based techniques and divine consciousness secret techniques, the power and effect would also be greatly enhanced. Now when I deploy a talisman formation, I could probably achieve myriad talismans ascent. Lu Chongqing felt that the state of his soul and his mental state were unprecedentedly good. Even with his eyes closed, he could perceive the world with exceptional clarity. With a single thought, he was able to clearly capture the presence of the endless guileful head, thousand faces puppet fox, the small reversed 5 elements array, and even the subtle essence of the flowers and plants beyond the mountain range. Even the array formation spiritual light of the small reversed 5 elements array seemed not so difficult in front of his eyes. Given time and thought, he would be able to understand it and enter the threshold in no time. This is the advantage of a pure soul. Lu Chongqing had always been aware of the benefits of divine sense for cultivators. But for the soul side, he never had a distinct perception. At this moment, having awakened the Tai Chi soul body, he now understood that a pure soul not only strengthens the soul but also makes perception terrifyingly sharp. During daily combat and cultivation practice, through the soul, he could observe many situations difficult to capture or discern with the naked eye. Eyes! Just then, Lu Changsheng's heart skipped a beat and his eyes opened abruptly. His bright, shining eyes opened like torches, with a golden luster, resplendent and radiant, projecting 2 golden beams. His eyes could directly see through the cave's stone walls to the outside, and even vaguely discern in that direction was a towering presence, filled with demon qi. Is this the golden-eyed fire ape's fire golden eye? Lu Changsheng's heart was filled with surprise. Then he turned to look at the 1,000 faces puppet fox guarding the cave entrance. With the golden luster flowing in his eyes, capable of piercing through falsehood, he saw that the other's form and appearance were disguised and the aura of demon power was not right, neither pure demonic power nor pure mana. Looking at the small reversed 5 elements array, he could vaguely make out the flow and the weaker points of the formation's qi. Such a remarkable innate divine ability. If others possessed this divine ability, they could also see through my disguise. Lu Chongqing then realized that his current disguise would probably be impenetrable to ordinary true pill masters. But if their eyes and pupil skills reach an extremely high mastery, they could see his true form, so he still had to be cautious. However, Lu Chongqing guessed that the effectiveness of his eyes was not simply due to the golden-eyed fire ape's innate divine ability. It's also because of his long-term dual cultivation with Lu Miaoyan, their eyes equivalent to being constantly baptized by luminous sweet dew, have long been extraordinary, resulting in such astonishing effects. If I continue wiping my eyes with luminous sweet dew when I get back, can I enhance the effect of this divine skill even further? Lu Chongqing pondered in his heart, very much looking forward to it. With this innate divine ability, surveying spirit veins and harvesting the spiritual vein origin will be much more convenient too. Lu Changsheng's eyes sparkling, he activated the fire golden eye while also circulating the origin spirit pupillary art. Suddenly, he saw glimpses of spiritual mechanism, which allowed him to roughly understand the spirit mechanism of the land, thus finding spirit veins and spirit mines. This innate divine ability is indeed very fitting for me. A faint smile appeared on Lu Changsheng's face as he stood up, feeling that his physical body was also much tougher and stronger than before, ready to break through the 10th layer of the 100 Refinements treasure body art. But he was not planning to break through now. This trip to the Myriad Beasts mountain range, he planned to return within a year. But now, just hunting 2 demon kings has almost spent half a year. If he were to break through the 100 Refinements treasure body art and consolidate, the year would have passed by. Time to get to work. Lu Chongqing was full of energy and vigor, feeling as if his strength was inexhaustible. He planned to take advantage of his current state to hunt a few third-rank early-stage demon kings and spirit veins, make a trip to Azure Phoenix Immortal City, then return early. As for his son Lu Qingxian's Tai Chi soul body, he was not in a rush before, planning to deal with the sun-moon resplendent butterfly, and now he's even less so. Because during the awakening process just now, he realized that awakening the Tai Chi soul body using the blood essence spirit light puts great pressure on the person awakening. If they can't withstand it, they won't be able to obtain the innate divine ability from the blood essence spirit light, and it might even be dangerous. Hong Lian said that the Tai soul body can be awakened after attaining divine sense. But after Lu Changsheng's recent experience, he knows clearly that this is just a threshold. It can be said that, awakening the Tai Chi soul body with a third-rank Thunderwood, giving birth to divine sense is enough. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1167. But if one awakens through blood essence spirit light, to gain innate divine skills from it, one still needs a strong soul. Moreover, the stronger the soul, the more the improvement from awakening a Tai Chi soul body. Therefore, Lu Chongqing planned to prepare more heavenly and earthly treasures for his son to nourish the soul, so he could spend more time cultivating his divine sense. Only by doing this, after foundation establishment and awakening the Tai Chi soul body, one could withstand the pressure of blood essence spirit light and most likely gain innate divine skills. This is what a family legacy is about. Even though Hong Lian is a nascent soul true lord, knowing about Tai Chi soul body and how to awaken it, she is still not very clear about many of the details. Lu Chongqing sighed in his heart. If it were not for a father like himself to experiment with the spiritual body conditions for his children, how would the average family force know these key points? At this moment, Lu Chongqing felt he was truly great. Without overthinking, his eyes gleaming with golden radiance, he looked at the underground spirit vein and began to excavate and collect the origin source of the spirit vein. A day later, Lu Chongqing had completely hewn off the small spirit vein underneath the little cave, collected the endless guileful head and thousand faces puppet fox. His fate-defying robe flowing with formless radiance, as if camouflaged into the void, he stealthily approached Divine Ape Ridge, planning to extract the spirit vein of Divine Ape Ridge. As soon as Lu Chongqing arrived at the outskirts of Divine Ape Ridge, through his divine sense, he detected a third-rank demon king's presence inside. What's going on? How is there another demon king? Lu Chongqing was surprised, and immediately sent the thousand faces puppet fox out to probe the situation. Moments later, a roar sounded, accompanied by an earth-shaking rumble. A giant bear with a ferocious appearance, mountainous in size, appeared, bellowing at the thousand faces puppet fox. This place is my territory, you're trespassing. Earth demon bear? It's taken the place after the golden-eyed fire ape was killed? Lu Chongqing understood the situation upon seeing this scene. Demon beasts do not require spirit veins as urgently as cultivators, but they do prefer to reside where spirit veins are abundant. Moreover, the higher the grade of the spirit vein, the faster the growth and maturation of heavenly and earthly treasures they plant. Since you've come to me, I'll not hold back. Lu Chongqing noticed this earth demon bear was only a third-rank early stage. Its aura not even as strong as the wind thunderhound from before. Immediately taking advantage of its focus on the Thousand Faces puppet fox, he made his move. Knowing the relative strength of both sides, Lu Chongqing simply activated the 9 treasure jade rui slightly, boosting his cultivation level to nascent soul 3rd layer. Yin Yang Qi Grasp. 6 Desires Heart Demon Technique. Demonic Soul Binding. While using the Grand Capture technique, Lu Chongqing operated the 6 Desires Heart Demon Technique, attempting to seal the Earth Demon Bear's perception. Charm. At the same time, the Thousand Faces puppet fox, under Lu Chongqing's mental command, simultaneously executed the Charm Illusion technique, disturbing the Earth Demon Bear's mental spirit. Although demon beasts are not as vulnerable in their souls as human cultivators, they were still affected under such conditions. Boom! As the yin-yang hand suppressed and captured the Earth Demon Bear, Lu Chongqing's chi blood surged mightily, his 3rd-tier physique fully recovering. Surrounded by Thunder Gang Dragon Flame, he stormed towards the Earth Demon Bear and punched furiously, directly extricating the massive demon core from its belly. Ow! With a mournful cry, the Earth Demon Bear was immediately detained by the yin-yang chi grasp, forming a yin-yang small ball. Seeing this, Lu Chongqing grabbed the small ball and immediately entered the cave, laying down a small reversed 5 elements array to start extracting the origin source of the spirit vein. Half a month later. Screech! A shriek pierced the heavens as Lu Chongqing vanquished a fire phoenix-tailed sparrow. This trip's gains left Lu Chongqing exceptionally delighted. Because the fire mulberry tree resided by the fire phoenix-tailed sparrow happened to be a 3rd-tier spirit plant. This was the first time Lu Chongqing harvested a heaven and earth spiritual plant by his own effort, which filled him with immense joy. Immediately, he used yin-yang magic power to seal the fire mulberry tree, preserving its vitality, and stored it in the spirit plant bag. Then he began to excavate the origin source of the spirit vein underneath. Half a day later. Roll, roll, roll. A sound of earth-shaking commotion arose, alongside the thunder of a myriad of beasts stampeding and bellowing roars. What's going on? Although Lu Chongqing was fully engaged in intercepting the spiritual vein origin, his soul was so strong that he could multitask with ease. He immediately activated his fire golden eye, and his eyes shone with a bright golden luster, looking through the mountains and stone walls towards the outside. He suddenly saw countless demon beasts rushing in his direction. In the distant sky, there seemed to be a golden eagle and a black hawk lurking, with terrifying auras. It seemed as if a mountain was moving towards him. What's happening? They couldn't possibly be coming for me, could they? A vague sense of unease crept into Lu Chongqing's heart. After all, his location was deep in the Myriad Beasts mountain range, where few other cultivators ventured. In such circumstances, why would there be so many demon beasts moving towards him? Moreover, most demon kings didn't get along with each other. Under normal circumstances, they shouldn't be traveling together. But both the Golden Eagle and the Black Hawk seemed to be 3rd-rank demon kings. While Lu Chongqing was pondering, he saw the moving mountain suddenly soar into the sky, which turned out to be a golden gigantic ape holding up the mountain, hurling it in his direction. Fuck! It really is coming for me! Seeing this, Lu Chongqing's face changed, and he did not hesitate to gather up the mountain and river cauldron, spirit sealing nail, Thousand Faces puppet fox, and the small reversed 5 elements array. The fate-defying robe shimmered with invisible brilliance as his entire being turned into a rainbow light that shot away. Although he could instantly kill 3rd-rank early-stage and middle-stage demon kings, and even had the confidence to fight a 3rd-order late-stage demon king, his arsenal consisted of heavy-hitter techniques, which made it difficult to take on multiple enemies at once. Moreover, the current situation clearly showed that his hunting of demon kings had stirred up significant trouble, drawing the attention of the demon kings of the Myriad Beasts mountain range, who teamed up to move against him. In this situation, any decrease in his condition would spell trouble. Back when he experienced the soul path dreams, Lu Chongqing had felt this kind of pursuit. Although it was just a dream, the mountain range within the dream was probably composed of the Myriad Beasts mountain range from Yun Wansheng's memories. So in such circumstances, his only option was to flee. Boom! The mountain smashed into the peak where Lu Chongqing had just been standing, causing a thunderous roar that brought the mountain crashing down, kicking up terrible reverberations. Screech! In the sky dome above, the Golden Eagle and the Black Hawk locked onto Lu Chongqing, screeching sharply, their cries turning into ripples that seemed to assault his soul. Fortunately, Lu Changsheng's divine sense was strong, and with the awakened Tai Chi soul body, he wasn't affected by the sonic attacks. But the Golden Eagle and the Black Hawk were both third-rank demon kings, extremely fast, reaching Lu Changsheng's position in the blink of an eye. Teleportation Talisman. Upon seeing this, Lu Changsheng did not hesitate and produced a jade talisman that glowed purple, immediately crushing it. Suddenly, his entire being vanished from 100-mile radius. 100 miles away, ripples appeared in the space. A middle-aged man wearing a mystic robe, with a dignified and majestic face and a tall and straight posture, suddenly appeared. Lu Changsheng steadied himself, and his fate-defying robe immediately flowed with an invisible luster, concealing his aura and rendering his whole person hidden in the void. Sir the novel, F. Iyer. @ website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. I've only killed 4 demon kings, and I've already been noticed? Lu Changsheng thought about the situation, frowning slightly. If that was the case, it seems I'll have to relocate to a further area. Otherwise, every time I fight a demon king and before even fully seizing the spirit vein, another demon king would find me, making my efforts futile. Immediately afterward, Lu Changsheng took out Venerable Wuxia's map of the Myriad Beasts mountain range to observe his general location, planning to move to a more distant area. At this moment, Lu Changsheng looked around, his brows slightly furrowed. In a 100-mile radius, tall mountains stretched straight into the clouds. As a dragon seeker, he immediately noticed that the terrain of this mountain range was extraordinary. Right away, Lu Changsheng activated his fire golden eye and observed carefully with the origin spirit pupillary art. A moment later, he discovered that the land's energy was extraordinary. It was very likely that there was a large spirit vein below or some rare heavenly and earthly treasure. Shall I take a look? If there's a large spirit vein, and I can intercept it completely, I could return from this trip with full rewards. Lu Changsheng felt tempted. Seeing that the previous demon kings hadn't followed him, he decided to investigate the area. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1168. Lu Changsheng's eyes were bright and penetrating, cutting through illusion as he continuously observed the spiritual mechanisms within the mountains. The more he looked, the more he realized that this mountain range was not simple. Each peak was like a section of the azure dragon's spine, connected together, as if a dragon lay coiled. According to the dragon-seeking art, such terrain belongs to a dragon vein. There must be a large spirit vein here, or perhaps even rarer heavenly and earthly treasures. However, such a spirit vein, why hasn't it been occupied by a demon king? Lu Changsheng, observing the terrain before him, furrowed his brows, feeling that something was amiss. He took out the jade slip map of Venerable Wuxia to compare, and this area did not have any special marks on it. What's going on here? Perplexed, Lu Changsheng's eyes flowed with a golden light as he looked around, yet he saw no danger in this terrain. After pondering for a moment, he arrived at one of the peaks and released the seeking spirit mouse. See if there are any treasures or dangers here, Lu Changsheng told the seeking spirit mouse. This kind of treasure-seeking mouse was not only keenly sensitive to the chi of heavenly and earthly treasures but also very alert to danger. If there was danger, it would be the first to sense it. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Upon hearing the words, the seeking spirit mouse nodded and bowed, then sniffed around and dashed in one direction. Lu Changsheng followed distantly behind. After traveling more than 10 li, he saw ahead a valley filled with many spiritual fruit trees and a group of pitch-black furred monkeys. What kind of monkeys are these? Lu Changsheng did not recognize these monkeys and wondered what kind of demon beasts they were. But he roughly made out that their strength was mostly at the first grade and second rank, belonging to herd-living demon beasts. The seeking spirit mouse looked at the distant monkeys with fear and didn't dare to approach. After carefully observing for a moment, Lu Changsheng decided not to attack the monkeys. After all, once he made a move and caused a commotion, the demon king chasing him would detect it and come here immediately. He let the seeking spirit mouse continue to search for other treasures and spirit vein chi. Wandering through the mountain range, although he did not encounter the demon king, he saw many demon beasts and Lu Changsheng gradually felt at ease. After all, the presence of demon beasts living here indicated that there was nothing wrong with this mountain range. If it were silent, without a single demon beast, he would turn and leave immediately. Several days later, the seeking spirit mouse arrived in front of a cave entrance. It indicated that there was a rich spiritual mechanism inside, but also a dangerous aura. Lu Chongqing, using his fire golden eye and origin spirit pupillary art, immediately saw a surging spiritual mechanism in the cave before him. He released the Thousand Faces puppet fox to enter the cave with him. Upon reaching the depths of the cave, Lu Chongqing saw many wild beast skeletons and a dark gold treasure tree entwined with flame vines. Is this the golden fire vine tree? After studying heaven and earth spiritual plants for a long time, Lu Chongqing immediately recognized the treasure tree before him and was overjoyed. Unexpectedly, not long after he had acquired a fire mulberry tree, he now encountered a golden fire vine tree. He really had immense fortune. However, the next moment, he heard a faint sound. Many black ants, the size of soybeans and shimmering with a black firelight, emerged from beneath the skeletons and the golden fire vine tree, flying towards him. Iron fire ants? Seeing these ants, Lu Changsheng's expression shifted from surprise to delight. Iron fire ants were a type of gregarious odd insect that liked to live in scorching environments, feeding on metal or stones. On ordinary days, a few or even dozens of them were insignificant and could be easily killed by energy-refining cultivators. However, these odd insects became imposing when swarming in numbers reaching thousands, which could be extremely fierce. Banded together, with their terrifying attack power, penetrating strength, fire poison, and solid defense, they were practically comparable to fire attribute magical treasures. Even nascent soul immortals would find it troublesome to deal with such swarms of iron fire ants. Besides, iron fire ants were also famous for one thing. They could be refined into a rare material called refining crystal. When refining crystals were added in small amounts to magical treasures, the items would become much more durable and hard to destroy or wear down. Apart from magical treasures, structures like palaces and spirit boats and spiritual vessels also could contain this refining crystal. Iron fire ants require very harsh living conditions. These iron fire ants must be surviving thanks to this golden fire vine tree. This swarm of iron fire ants could be collected and raised by Chen Sha, which would come in handy when I refine my magical treasures, as the refining crystals could be useful. Lu Chongqing, looking at the swarming thousands of iron fire ants before him, emanated the yin-yang mysterious divine light all around him, enveloping his whole body tightly, and then reached out with his hand. The yin-yang energies transformed into a hand as light as mist, sweeping up all the iron fire ants in a rolling motion, and slowly gathering them into a yin-yang small ball. Hum, hum, hum. S.E. The Novel Fire. Any *T website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. Nevertheless, as soon as the 1 Qi grand capture imprisoned the iron fire ants, many chose to self-destruct, emitting a destructive fire poison that made the yin-yang small ball tremble. It is said that iron fire ants are difficult to tame, and will choose self-destruction when faced with a threat to their lives, which can only be raised and bred from their eggs. Seeing this, Lu Chongqing realized that it was impractical to try to take these iron fire ants back for cultivation. He immediately invoked his mana, extinguishing the life force of the ants within. After all, if these iron fire ants self-destructed, he would end up with nothing. By actively subduing them, he could later refine some refining crystal. I wonder if these iron fire ants have eggs. After subduing all the iron fire ants, Lu Chongqing turned his gaze to the pile of bones on the ground and began searching. But after clearing all the bone piles, there was nothing but many remnants, or exoskeletons shed by the iron fire ants, with no ant eggs to be found. Sigh, there's a reason why refining crystals are so rare and precious. Lu Chongqing sighed and then set about slowly extracting the golden fire vine tree. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1169. When he uprooted the golden fire vine tree, he immediately saw many tiny iron fire antlings, as well as blackish ant eggs the size of rice grains. Are these iron fire ant eggs? Lu Chongqing was surprised and delighted to see these antlings and eggs. Then, with a faint smile on his lips, he said, "That's right, iron fire ants like scorching areas. Naturally they would reside beneath this golden fire vine tree." Lu Chongqing raised his hand and performed the yin-yang qi grasp, capturing all the iron fire ants. Seeing that these larvae did not choose to self-destruct like the previous iron fire ants, Lu Chongqing breathed a sigh of relief. He put all the larvae and eggs into the spirit beast bag, and then used his divine sense to check for anything that might have been missed. Beneath the golden firevine tree, he observed numerous densely packed holes, which were likely traces left by the iron fire ants burrowing in. These holes had strands and threads of rich spiritual energy flowing out of them. Chirp, 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 the seeking spirit mouse pointed below, indicating there might be a spirit vein, but also an unknown danger. Lu Changsheng's eyes narrowed, shining with a golden sheen. He activated the origin spirit pupillary art and saw a stream of pure, rich spiritual mechanism flowing below. There was a high probability of exceptional spiritual objects or the presence of a spirit vein. Dig! Lu Chongqing immediately set up the small reversed 5 elements array at the entrance of the cave to cloak their presence, then began digging towards the underground spirit vein. Several hours later, after penetrating multiple layers of rock walls, Lu Chongqing saw an indistinct array pattern laying deep underground, which sealed everything beneath solidly, making it impossible to dig further. Has someone discovered the spirit vein below and heavenly and earthly treasures, and set up an array in advance? Lu Chongqing furrowed his brows, somewhat shocked and amazed. Unexpectedly, there was an array placed below. Although he was not an array master, he had some understanding of arrays. It was clear that such an array was set up by someone. Moreover, although the array was sturdy, there were moments when it seemed barely there, with pure rich spiritual energy leaking out, indicating the array had existed for too long and had undergone some mishaps, becoming damaged. Previously, I felt there was an issue with this terrain, like an azure dragon coiling here. Now there's an array pattern beneath this terrain. Could it be the work of a feng shui master or a dragon seeker? Lu Chongqing contemplated in his heart. The more he thought, the more he felt that this mountain range was not simple. He suspected there might be some relics or a cave mansion below. Although he was not very interested in relics and cave mansions. But since he had come all the way here and the relics were right in front of him, it was somewhat unbearable not to explore. Additionally, there was likely a large spirit vein inside, which he just couldn't bear to give up. Such array patterns might be difficult to break with brute force alone. Lu Chongqing looked at the array pattern in front of him, trying to activate it with mana. The array pattern immediately shimmered with spiritual light, stirring up ripples and repelling him. Then, Lu Chongqing fully activated the fate-defying robe, with streams of Dao patterns flowing around him, attempting to pass through the array pattern with the help of the robe. But the fate-defying robe could only traverse arrays below the 3rd rank. Even though the array in front had existed for a long time and underwent some mishaps, it was still above the 3rd rank, preventing him from passing through directly. Since this array has shown irregularities, there must be a weak point, a flaw. As long as I can find the flaw, I should be able to get in. Lu Changsheng's eyes narrowed slightly, he thought to himself. And he had a prohibition-breaking talisman in his hand. If he found the flaw, the weak point, and then struck it with the prohibition-breaking talisman, he might have a chance to enter with the help of the fate-defying robe. Let's work, Lu Chongqing said to the seeking spirit mouse, while his eyes shimmered with golden radiance, looking to see where spiritual mechanism leakage was most significant. The more spiritual mechanism leakage, the more the array showed signs of damage. After spending 3 days, Lu Chongqing finally found a weak flaw around the array pattern in the stratum. He put the seeking spirit mouse back into the spirit beast bag, released a prohibition-breaking talisman, and in the instant the spiritual light flashed, the fate-defying robe flowed, and he suddenly traversed the array pattern. The very moment Lu Chongqing entered a vast underground palace. This place was extremely vast, endless at a glance, appearing naturally formed, showing no signs of human intervention. But Lu Chongqing immediately realized something was off here. Spiritual energy. The spiritual energy here was too dense, misty like fog, flowing and pervading through the air. Until now in his cultivation, Lu Chongqing had never experienced such dense nature spiritual energy, feeling refreshed and clear-headed. Indeed, it's a 3rd-order spirit vein. Someone has locked all the spirit veins under this mountain range here. Lu Changsheng's expression shifted slightly, instantly understanding what was going on. His eyes glittered as he looked at the deathly still underground palace, heading towards the source of the nature's spiritual energy, the direction of the spirit vein origin. This underground palace is too vast, isn't it? Lu Chongqing was very cautious, moving slowly, feeling that this underground palace was simply boundless, like a labyrinth. He didn't know how much time had passed when he finally approached the source of the spirit vein. But ahead there was no road. A vast abyss lay across the path. The misty spiritual energy was gushing out from the abyss right in front of him. Lu Chongqing couldn't help but feel astounded. Knowing that he had come to this underground palace, which was supposed to be subterranean. Yet such a massive, unfathomable abyss existed below ground level. Truly startling. Sir the novel, F. Iyer. Et website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. What kind of terrain is this? At this moment, Lu Chongqing felt that his top-tier second-rank dragon-seeking technique was insufficient. Somehow, he couldn't understand why the situation before him had occurred. He even doubted whether the azure dragon coiling terrain he previously saw in the outer world was influenced by the current situation below, thus forming such a pattern. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know. Report so we can fix it as soon as possible.